How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you men fall in love with you when you're mean, But what if I also told you that being mean doesn't have to be a toxic thing? If that sounds like an impossible balance to you, don't worry. On today's show, we're going to be discussing why men fall in love when you're mean. That way, you can take this knowledge into your dating life and have the men who you're with be hungry for you like a pack of wild hyenas. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Okay, welcome all you beautiful people. How you guys doing today? So good to have you a part of the show and so good to see you. Who we got up in the chat? I see we got Trina here, we got Barbara here, we got Claudia here, we got Scotty here, we got Panda here, Star here, Rogue here, we got Sandy here, Paola here. I think I saw Sharice earlier as well. Welcome all you beautiful people up in the TikTok chat. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? We got Mary here, we got Noel here, we got Kayla here, Sari here, Viola here. Shout out to Ivy for being one of our channel members. We got Deshaun, okay. We got Deshaun here as well. Who else we got? We got Jazz here. I want to shout out all our channel members. We got Amal here. We got Carmen B here, one of our channel members as well. And Amal's one of our channel members. And of course, we got the most amazing Missy America holding us down in the YouTube chat. Let's get started, chat. Let's get started. All right. So number one that we're going to be discussing today as to why men fall in love when you're mean, okay? Because I want to really break this down so that you can understand why men respond to certain things and they don't respond to other things. I got a new whiteboard. Can you guys tell? This one's new. It's a little bit different, okay? I wanted to get a better angle for you guys, all right? So let's start off with point number one today. Okay, we're right into class, right into it. Okay, so point number one is going to be sweat equity. Now, here's the thing. You have to understand that when it comes to men, they become attached to the amount of work they put in to get you. And see, what you're mistaking a lot of the time is when you're dating guys, you're thinking, oh, if I don't have the biggest yitties, and if I don't have the largest dump truck, I'm just not going to be as valuable to him as all these other girls, as the supermodels, as the fitness girlies, as the girls with massive dump trucks that I don't have. But the problem is, first of all, when you start thinking that way, you've already lost. But second of all, when you start believing that, you're not bringing yourself to the realization that your value isn't in just what your assets are. Your value is also in how hard that guy feels he has to work or not work for you, okay? And this is kind of the reason why being mean works so well. Because when you're mean to men, you make them feel like they're actually working for your love and working for your attention, okay? So let's kind of break this down in a little bit of an analogy and why this is so important, okay? So let's say you have a watch here, okay? And this watch, you know, it ticks, okay? Got a nice little watch, round watch, okay? Round watch for you that fits on your wrist, right? And this is watch number one. Then we have watch number two here, okay? We'll say this watch is a Rolex, okay? So this watch is a Rolex, goes like that, and it looks like that, and it's got a nice little, I don't know, black strap, whatever, all right? So watch number one is just a regular watch, okay? Like let's just say, an everyday watch that costs, let's say the price of this watch is $20, okay? And the price of this Rolex watch here is $20,000, okay? So let's break this down for a second. Watch number one is going to be $20 and watch number two is $20,000. So if I were to ask you, chat, right now, which watch do you think is more valuable? Tell me which watch you think is more valuable based on one being $20, like one you can get $20 for at the pawn shop, and one being an authentic Rolex that you can, sell for $20. Which one has more intrinsic value to you? If I were to ask you which one would you want out of these two watches, which one would you want me to give you? Which one would you want from me? Would you want the $20 watch that you can get at the dollar store or from Amazon? Or would you want the $20,000 Rolex? Okay, I need everyone to be participating. All right, this is very important. We're going somewhere. Okay, I see a lot of people saying number two. Okay, so this is very important. Obviously, number two is the right answer. I just want to make sure that you're all paying attention. Okay, it's very important that you guys all participate. Now, I'm going to add in a very important caveat that I want you all paying attention to because I'm going to ask you a question after this. Okay, so this $20 Rolex, okay, is brand new, brand spanking new, okay, right from the factory. It's brand new, okay, new from It's brand new from the factory. Shiny, it's amazing, sparkling, all that good stuff. Now, watch number two is worth $20. However, watch number one is only worth $20, but watch number one has belonged to your great-grandma, your grandma, and your mother, okay? Now, I'm gonna ask you again. If I were to tell you you can only have one of these two watches, one being worth $20,000 brand new from the factory, or one watch that has been passed down for generations in your family, which watch would you rather have in your possession? The $20, and this is where I want you all to answer the question, okay? And be honest, would you rather have the $20,000 Rolex, or would you rather have the watch that has belonged to your family in your heritage for, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4 generations now, okay? I see some people saying 2, but I see a lot more people saying 1. Before, when it was just 2 random watches, okay, one of $20,000 and one of 20, the answer and the choice was pretty obvious. A lot of people are going to say the $20,000 watch. However, when I added in the sentimental value of the watch being passed down from generation to generation and belonging in your family for this period of time, all of a sudden, the value of this $20 watch increased. And for some of you, depending on how much you love your mother, your grandma, and your great-grandmother, right, this watch value could have increased all the way to an infinite amount of money. And when I say infinite amount of money, I don't mean you can go to the pawn shop and get an infinite money glitch by pawning off that watch. I mean that its own personal value to you has increased because of what that watch means to you and what your family had to go through to keep that watch in mint condition, to keep it working nice. And now its value has increased in your eyes simply because of your attachment to the story and experience with that watch. Even though it's not necessarily a watch that you've had for years and years and years, just the knowledge that this watch once belonged to your great-grandmother, okay, who you've never met and you're only able to see pictures of, and the fact that it belonged to your grandmother who took care of you maybe when you were young and you used to be so fond of, and she would get you all these gifts before she passed away, and then belonged to your mom who maybe you had some rough patches with her, but you love her dearly and you love everything that she did for you now as an adult, right? All of a sudden, when you look at that watch, you're not just seeing a $20 watch. All of a sudden, when you look at that watch, you're seeing your family heritage. You're seeing all the experiences that your mother and her mother and her mother have been through. And that watch represents something to you greater than $20, right? Greater than even just money. In fact, for some of you, that's an infinite amount of value in that watch now, all of a sudden, when you attach that to it. So I say this to say, this is a perfect example of why it doesn't matter whether or not you have the biggest dump truck, whether or not you have the biggest, most voluptuous Yetis, because men aren't attaching your value to how big your yiddies are or how big your dump truck is. They're attaching the value of you to the experience they have with you. And the experience they have with you is always going to be affected by how hard or easy it is to get access to you. So as it relates to this analogy here, and what I want you to kind of take from this is an understanding that if the experience with you is difficult from the standpoint of, as a man, I had to work, I had to put my blood, sweat, and tears into this relationship. I had to do the most. I had to be more creative than I've ever been. I had to actually push when I thought there was no way. I had to actually put my best foot forward here. And I'm proud of the work that I did in this relationship, for this relationship, and to get this woman. All of a sudden, even if you're the same woman, even if you're just regular old Sarah or regular old Stacy or regular old Charisse or Ivy, I don't know, he still sees you as something even more valuable than just this $20 watch. So your value is actually tied to his experience with you more than it's tied to how much he can sell you off for. Okay, he's not going to sell you, but you get my gist, right? Because this $20,000 and this $20 is perceived market value. However, the market value of a product, or in this case, the market value of the watches, doesn't affect how valuable or invaluable the watch is to you when it's now tied to your heritage, where you came from. Are you following what I'm saying? So you have to understand value is more than just what does everyone else think about it? Does everyone else think you have the biggest dump truck? Because then I see value in you. Does everyone else think that you have the most voluptuous cities? Now I see the value in you. Are you beautiful to everyone else? Then I see the value in you. It's not about that. It's also about, well, I should say it's partially about that, but it's mostly about his experience with you and how difficult or easy it is to get access to you. Because as he puts more sweat equity into you and your relationship, all of a sudden he becomes more invested in this relationship working out, because he's put so much effort into this relationship. He doesn't just want it to vanish into thin air. He doesn't just want it to disappear. He doesn't just want all his work and his effort to go to waste. He wants to be able to say, wow, I put my best foot forward and this is what I have to show for it. So as he puts more sweat equity into the relationship, he begins to become more and more emotionally invested in the positive outcome of this relationship. So ironically, when you're mean to men, and they have to in turn work harder for you because you're mean to them and you don't make the process of dating you so easy by saying yes to everything and constantly doing and doing and doing for him. And instead, he's the one doing and doing and doing for you to try to impress you and get more access to you. All of a sudden, you're requiring men to put in a lot more sweat equity instead of just making the experience of getting you easy, where he never has to think twice about it or remember it, and it doesn't hold any sentimental value in his mind, okay? Because remember, in this scenario here with these watches, what you're attaching yourself to is not the market value of the watch, but the sentimental value of the watch. And it's all the same value in your mind, because by the time I ask you which watch you want to keep or which watch you want in your possession, you're choosing the one that has more sentimental value, at least most of you, okay? The ones that actually have a heart. The rest of you, I don't know, all right? So my point being is, when you're mean to men, you actually allow them the opportunity to put some sweat equity into you. And when they put sweat equity into you, all of a sudden they see their relationship with you as more valuable. So ironically, when you're mean to men, you're actually making it easier for them to be more emotionally invested in you, okay? So someone said, I seen someone ask, mean? How mean? What kind of mean? Okay, perfect. I'm so glad that you asked. We're going to get into that today. Don't worry. We like to break down everything in here, all right? So we talked about sweat equity and why sweat equity is so important. Now, for those of you who are asking what kind of mean, what do you mean by mean? I don't understand what type of mean. We're going to answer that question for you right now, okay? So this is point number 2. I wrote it too big. Okay, So this is going to be the value expectation. Now, this is why this is so important, because some of you are asking me, well, Thompson, what kind of mean? I don't understand the type of mean you're talking about. What type of mean are you discussing here? Okay, I'm going to be very clear the type of mean that I mean here. Okay, no pun intended. The type of mean that I mean here is the mean where guys feel like it's not easy to get access to you. In fact, in order to get access to you, they're gonna have to work their way through a couple of no's and a couple of maybes, and they're gonna have to convince you or sell you on the idea that they should wanna be with you, okay? So let me give you a direct example of, let's be very clear here, right? What the right type of mean is and the wrong type of mean is, okay? That way, we're all under the same understanding of why this is so important and how to do this properly so that you don't make mistakes and just start cursing guys out thinking that that's going to make him like you, okay? So let's first do the wrong type of mean, because knowing what you shouldn't do is a lot easier, okay? So let's start off with the wrong type of mean. So the wrong type of mean would be okay? Cursing him out. You don't need to be cursing him out. You don't got to be yelling at him and calling him names and calling him all type of stuff. That's not the type of mean I'm referring to, okay? Now, let's talk about another type of mean, all right? All right, this is better. Okay, so I'm also not talking about putting him down, okay? You don't gotta call him names. You don't gotta put him down. You don't gotta lower his self-esteem and think that you're humbling him, by making him feel badly about himself, all right? So we have to understand this is the wrong type of mean, okay? Because now you're deliberately trying to, I guess, humble him by being rude to him, thinking that that's gonna get him to like you. That is not the type of mean I'm discussing, okay? This is also very important that I don't want you guys to miss, okay? Okay, this is also very important. See, there's a balance here between doing the right type of mean and doing the wrong type of mean. And one of the mistakes that some of you are gonna make when you're doing the wrong type of mean is you're actually gonna take it to an extreme where you make this guy feel like you absolutely don't care. This is the problem though. You don't want to put yourself in a position where guys feel like they're not getting anywhere with you. Okay, so there's a balance here. This is why we have the Players Club, because it's not as easy as just curse the man out, spit on his face, and then he's gonna be in love with you. It doesn't work like that. You have to do it in a way where it's balanced, where the guy doesn't feel like it's easy to get access to you. In fact, he feels like you kind of don't care, but he also at times feels like you do care, and he is getting somewhere only when he puts his best foot forward. Now, I know for some of you, you're like, how can I do both of those? How are both of those possible at the same time? I can assure you it's very much possible if you do it the right way. Now, let's talk about, oh, I didn't even spell right the right way. Why don't you guys say that? You guys didn't notice? Okay, so let's talk about some ways that you're going to do this the right way, okay? Okay, you're going to use texting as a tool. Now, this is very different from ignoring a man. What I want you to do when you're being mean the right way is I want you to use texting as a tool, meaning do not fall into the trap of having casual conversation with him over text message. This is where it's gonna come across mean, because some guys that like you and that wanna date you and wanna spend time with you, they're gonna wanna text all day, okay? They're gonna wanna chit chat with you about casual stuff, ask you where you been, how was your day, what are you up to, what do you do, where are you from, all that chit chat that should be happening when you guys are in the same room together, okay? Does that make sense? So make sure that you're using texting as a tool. That's gonna come across mean, but it's the right type of mean that makes guys feel like they have to work just a little bit harder for you in order to get access to you. Now, we're gonna get a little bit more nuanced on this next one, okay? So please pay attention, okay? Okay, so number 2 for the right type of mean is you're gonna say no to the first offer. And this is very important because when you say no to the first offer, guys have to make a decision. And they start having to say to themselves, well, if I like her and I do want to see her and I do want to get to know her, and she said no to my first offer, do I push further or do I figure out what she needs in order to get access to her, or in order to turn that no into a yes? The reason you say no to that first offer, and the reason it works so well, right, as a way to be mean but in the right way, is because it forces guys to start becoming creative about, oh, how do I go the extra mile, right? And they start thinking to themselves, how do I sell myself in this relationship and with her in order for me to get access to her? So someone said, what's the offer? I'll give you an example of the offer. So let's say you're meeting a guy at, let's just say, a bar. And you're at a bar, and this guy comes up to you, he starts a conversation with you, you guys are laughing, chit-chatting, and giggling. In the process of you guys laughing, chit-chatting, and giggling, you guys have like a 5 to 10 minute conversation, then you have to go about your way, he has to go about his way, and he says, hey, I loved having a conversation with you, I love to get to know you more, can we go out on a date later this week? Can I get your number? Now there's a pause, because he's waiting for your response. You say no to the first offer. Now, obviously, you don't want to come across as if you don't care and you're absolutely uninterested. You want to come across as if, it's not really my cup of tea. Maybe if you were to convince me or sell me on the idea, I could be convinced. But I don't really know as of now. You know, I don't like to give out my number too much. I don't like to, you're a stranger. I don't even know your last name. I just came to this bar randomly. You could be Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know. You could be the next Ted Bundy. Convince me that I should give you my number, okay? That's the type of mean that we want. Because, see, when you're thinking of, oh, I should be so nice because being nice and being bubbly is what's going to get the guys to want me, and no, it's not. You got to be a little bit mean, just mean enough that guys feel it's necessary, because when you do that, right? So in that example that I give where you're like, oh, you know, I don't give strangers my number. He goes, oh, you don't have to. If you don't like giving away your number, perfectly fine. I understand. I'll take your Instagram. I'll take your Snapchat. Hopefully he's not taking your Snapchat. I'll take your Instagram. I'll take your social media. Like, what do you have that you spend the most time on? I'll follow you there, even WhatsApp if you want, and we can chat on there, okay? Just so I can ask you out on a date. And you see how from the very beginning, you get guys into the habit of taking a step forward, right? Instead of being able to just relax and sit back and allow you to do the work, he's the one thinking, okay, well, you're not interested, or maybe I need to convince you, I need to sell you on the idea that you're gonna wanna date me, so let me take a step forward, let me do more, let me see if I can still get you to want me and wanna be in a relationship with me. That's the type of mean that I'm referring to, and what I want you doing in your relationships, okay? So you're saying no to offers, and constantly you're always essentially telling men that you want them to convince you or sell you on the idea that, hey, I should want to spend my time with you, okay? It's going to come across as mean because guys are going to feel like, oh, you don't really like me. You're not really that interested in me. You're not head over heels in love with me. And you're going to feel like you're being mean when guys who you're interested in or you like or you think things are going well with, when you turn them down, you're going to feel mean. However, it's the right type of mean where it allows guys to take a step forward, and you'll get what you want because he'll be more obsessed with you. He'll want you more. He'll have more desire for you. And because he has more desire for you, he'll take steps forward and he'll pursue you more. Okay? So you got to make sure to be doing mean the right way. Now, let's break down even a little bit more, in particular, the value expectation, so that you guys can understand why this works so well when you're mean the right way and how the value expectation kind of works in your favor, okay? So let's give an example of this here, okay? I'm going to erase all of this, actually. Yeah. Let's give an analogy and an example that we can all understand here and all pay attention to. So let's imagine that there are two dresses, okay? Sorry, no, we'll make it better for you all, okay? I want you guys to really be paying attention, really locked in here, okay? So in this scenario, there's going to be two different, I'm going to draw them out first. You guys are going to love this, okay? You guys know what this is? Anyone in the chat know what I just drew or what I just attempted to draw in the chat here? Does anyone know what this is? Okay, you should, unless my drawing is horrible. Someone said a Coach purse? No, it's a Chanel bag. Yes, chat, it's a Chanel bag. So the reason I drew two Chanel bags is because I want to give you two examples of how value expectation can actually affect what you think is actually worth your time and energy and how you view something, right? Your value expectation, if something that is in line with a particular value expectation doesn't fit that expectation, it actually drastically changes how you feel about that particular thing. So I know that sounds kind of abstract, but I want to give you guys a direct example. So let's say it's me, okay? I'm on the street, on the sidewalk. I'm not streaming today. I'm on the sidewalk and I'm selling handbags, okay? Now, let's imagine two different scenarios where you come across me on the street selling handbags, okay? I got a Chanel purse in my hand and I come up to you. I'm like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I think that I have the perfect Chanel bag that would go along with your amazing, stunning beauty. You're gorgeous. You look like a supermodel. And you're like, oh my God, me? I look like a supermodel? Yes, you should be on a runway show. You should have. Were you actually? I think I saw you. I was watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show yesterday, and I think I saw you in it. You were the one with the white wings, right? That was you in the lingerie. You were looking beautiful, right? Oh, no, that wasn't me. No, it was you. It was you. And this Chanel purse belongs to you. This is yours. It's yours. I promise you, you need the Chanel purse. And so I'm offering you the Chanel purse, and you're like, oh, look, I guess, if you think someone like me needs a Chanel purse, so you sell me on it. I don't know. Let's see what you got. And I show you the Chanel purse, and I go, look, this is grade A leather, okay? It's something you've never seen before. I'm telling you, there's only 200 of these in the world. I think the Queen has it. Oh, no, the Queen passed away. I think, who's that girl? Meghan Markle has it. The one girl, she's from Suits, all right? And Beyonce has it. Nicki Minaj and some other people, they all have it. Everyone has it. All the cool kids, they all have it. Everyone, they have it. This one, only 200. And I'm offering this one to you, okay? And in this first example, when I'm offering it to you, let's imagine in this first example that the price of this Chanel bag, okay, because you're like, oh my God, only 200 people have it. What's the price of the Chanel bag? And I'm like, okay, honestly, you got to brace yourself, okay, because this is a one of 200, and this is an amazing Chanel bag. You are amazing, but it is an expensive bag. This bag is $30,000. And you're like, damn, 30K Chanel bag? Yeah, that's the big boy bag. Okay, I get it. $30,000, it's one of 200. It's out of my budget, but I get it. That's a really nice bag. That's a really nice bag, okay? Right? And it fits your value expectations. Now let's imagine scenario number 2, in which I'm on the street and I come up to you and I say the same thing. I tell you how amazing and beautiful you are. I tell you I've got an amazing Chanel bag for you. And I say I've got a nice little discount for you. this 1 of 200 Chanel bag in scenario number 2. This 1 of 200 Chanel bag that Beyonce and Meghan Markle and everyone has is only $30. Now, if I were to ask you, chat, if you had to guess which bag was more than likely fake, which bag would you come to the conclusion, if you only get to choose one, okay, because I know I'm on the street, which one would you conclude is more than likely fake after I gave you that description? Would you conclude that the bag, which is worth $30,000, the Chanel bag, is fake? Or would you conclude that the Chanel bag, which is valued at only $30, despite being only 1 of 200 and very limited and the finest leather and everyone has it, but it's only worth $30 and I'm offering it to you at a discount for $30, okay? Which one would you, and I swear I want all of you all to participate, which one would you assume is counterfeit or fake or stolen? The one that's priced at $30,000 or the one that's priced at $30, okay? Now, I know I came up to you on the street, but let's ignore that, okay? Let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's pretend everything's on the up and up and you know you can trust me, all right? So I see a lot of people saying bag number 2. If I had to pick one, I would assume bag number 2 is the counterfeit bag. Aha! I got you, okay? Now, the reason I'm giving you this example and I want you to kind of soak this in is because your value expectation is actually tied to your perspective or what you're expecting when you receive or get or try to get that bag. When you hop into the Chanel store and you see a bag on the rack that looks beautiful, that's priced at $30,000, you might choke on your spit a little bit and be like, oh my God, $30,000, that's insane. However, when you go into the Chanel store, you know that you're not going into the Chanel store to start walking around the discount rack. You're expecting things to be expensive. Now, the shocking amount that the bag is worth might still be shocking to you. However, it fits your value expectation. Because in your mind, you're thinking, okay, a big woman Chanel bag. Oh yeah, that's the big one, okay? I did my big one. So you're expecting that the prices are gonna be the big one, all right? However, if you go into a store and you see a Chanel bag and it's priced at $30, that doesn't fit your value expectation. Now, all of a sudden, you're skeptical on the actual authenticity of that bag. Now, all of a sudden, that bag that I talked up a big game about, and I told you how amazing it was, and I told you how Beyonce has it, and this person has it, and that person has it, even if this bag was 100% authentic, 100% amazing, 100% real, you still have convinced yourself that it's not authentic because it doesn't fit your value expectation. So Lena Renee said, so they're both real. Precisely. In this scenario, let's imagine both Chanel bags are actually real. And for whatever reason, I'm just feeling generous today, I'm offering you that same actual authentic Chanel bag for $30. See, you're more than likely still gonna say no to it because you're assuming it's counterfeit or it's stolen or it has no real value because it doesn't fit your value expectation. And once the value has been diminished in your mind, because it doesn't fit the value expectation, all of a sudden now, you no longer want the bag. You no longer have any desire for the bag, and you don't even want to spend a measly $30 on the bag. Because you're like, what's the point of me spending all this money on a fake bag that when people see it, and I say it's 1 of 200, they're all just going to laugh at me. It's not going to make any sense. So you're like, I don't even want to spend my $30 on a fake Chanel bag. I'll just go buy some food. Better use of my money, okay, than buying this cheap bag. But in this scenario in which both bags are real, now you see how your value expectation has affected essentially your perception. Okay? So the reason that I break this down for you and I want you guys to kind of soak this in is because understanding how value expectation affects perception will help you understand why when you're mean to men, it actually fits more in line with what their expectation of someone who has a lot of value would be, okay? Let me explain. See, when you're mean to them, and this is why I broke down the right way to be mean versus the wrong way to be mean. When you're mean to them from the standpoint of you don't make it easy for them to get access to you, and you say no to some things, and you say, you know, you got to convince me. I'm not really down for that. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy for that. You can't get access to me all the time. You're going to have to work for it. I don't think you're the type of guy I'm looking for, right? All of that meanness actually fits the value expectation of a woman men would deem that has access to any man they want. See, because if you're a woman that is so beautiful that all the men chase after you and all the men like you and all the men are head over heels in love with you, wanting to take you out and spend thousands of dollars on you, when I come up to you and I ask you, hey, I want to be in a relationship with you, I want to take you out on a dinner, I want to do this for you, I want to do that for you, and you say, I'm not really that impressed. You know, I don't know. Everyone wants to take me out to dinner. This guy asked me last week. Another guy asked me on a vacation. Another guy asked me to go here. Another guy asked me to go there. You got to do better than that. They all ask the same thing. That actually fits, ironically, because you're thinking, but that's mean, that's rude. Guys won't like that. They're not going to be interested in me. They're going to want to, you know, not talk to me and not spend time with me and not date me. But ironically, it actually fits the value expectation of a woman who they deem that a lot of men want. Because if a lot of men want her and a lot of men want to be with her, a lot of men will be making offers at her to get access to her. And if a lot of men are making offers to get access to her, she won't be impressed by my measly little offer to go to a coffee shop next week. She'll say no to me asking for her number because everyone wants her number and everyone's texting her and calling her all the time. So ironically, when you're mean like that, you actually fit the description of a woman who has a lot of value and is already being chased around a lot, okay? Miss Selena says, be exclusive. Precisely. Because when you are exclusive like that, when you're just the tiniest bit mean to men and you say no to them and you don't allow them to feel like, oh, yeah, I was waiting for you this entire time because I've just been on my hands and knees, watching paint dry, hoping that you would eventually approach me and talk to me because this is the best moment of my life. See, when you do that or approach your relationships like that, the value expectation is now flipped on its head. You become like the $30 Chanel bag because when they see you and they think you have a lot of value and they approach you and they realize that you're desperate for their time, desperate for their attention, desperate to speak to them, desperate to get their number, they start saying, oh, that's strange because I thought you were a $30,000 Chanel bag. You know, Chanel bags are supposed to be expensive. Why am I coming to you? And, you know, when I come to you and I start speaking to you, you're offering yourself up to me for a very low price. That doesn't fit my expectation of what a Chanel bag should cost. If I went to the dollar store to pick up something from Dollar Tree because I just wanted something real quick, yeah, then I would expect a price of $30. But if I go to the Chanel store, I don't expect anything there to be priced at $30. And so if you're supposed to be a Chanel bag, you can't be $30. And the fact that you're $30 makes me feel like you're counterfeit. Like your value is not in line with my expectation. Are you following what I'm saying, okay? Dinah says high value won't be found on the clearance rack. Precisely. So when you're mean, you actually fit the description of a woman who is sought after by a lot of men. Because you don't need to be nice to any one particular man because there will always be another man who wants you. You can never, ever make guys feel like when they approach you, they're the first guy to ever approach you. Like they're the first guy to ever ask you out on a date. Like they're the first guy to ever want to do something nice for you. That doesn't fit their value expectation of you. Their actual expectation of you, if they really like you and think you're really beautiful and really amazing, is that everyone wants you and that you're not impressed by anything he does. And because you're not impressed, what is he going to have to do? Take a step forward and do more for you in this relationship in order to get your attention, in order to get access to you, and in order to get closer to you, okay? Does that make sense to you guys so far and why that is so important, okay? I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Okay? Someone says, I told a guy the next time I see him, he'll get my number, never saw me again. And this is the great part about this. See, when you do it like this, and I'm glad I still have this analogy up, when you do it like this, take notice of the fact that because this Chanel bag is $30,000, not everyone is going to be able to afford this bag. In fact, there's a lot of people that will never even enter a Chanel store because they know my expectation is that any bag in there is going to be out of my price range. Excuse me. And because they know they have the expectation that any bag in there is going to be out of my price range, by the time they go and start looking at Chanel bags, they just say, this is a pointless activity because I'm not going to buy anything here. So it's the same thing as, I can't remember the name in the chat that just said this, but it's the same thing as what someone in the chat just said, where sometimes when you're a $30,000 Chanel bag, in fact, a lot of the times, you're going to take notice of the fact that when you are this, there will be guys who, can't get access to you or don't even bother getting to know you because you're out of their price range. Okay? And I mean that literally and figuratively. They're not ready to put that level of investment in a woman who there's actual competition for. And we're going to talk about competition in a second. Okay? Because they just want something quick and easy. They want to go to the dollar store and get something cheap made of plastic, and they want it for $30 and they want it in 30 seconds flat. So when you're a $30,000 Chanel bag that they need to take out a damn loan just to get, they're like, whoa, 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 I wasn't prepared to do all that, and I'm not even in the market for a Chanel bag that costs $30K. Let me go take my time, my energy, my focus somewhere else. Let me go back to Tinder and keep swiping, okay? So it's actually good. When you are mean to men, you attract a particular type of man who's willing to work hard for you, and you also repel men who don't want to do anything for you and just want the process to be very easy and very smooth without any sort of work. Does that make sense to all of you beautiful, beautiful souls in the chat? Okay? And why that's so important. Let's go here into number 3, okay? Our number 3 point. So number 3, if you act special, that's when you are special. You gotta act special to be special, okay? Now, the reason this is point number 3 is because what I want you to start understanding is being mean helps men to associate a lot of things together that you want them to be associating. See, when you're mean to men and you say no to them the first time and you don't allow them to feel like, hey, you're waiting on hand and foot for them to come talk to you. In fact, now that they're coming to talk to you, you don't even know if you're that impressed to even talk back to them, to go on this date with them, to get to know them. Now, it sounds mean, but that's the type of energy you want to be giving off, almost like you're disinterested. Not that you don't care at all, but you're slightly disinterested that if you don't put in some work here, I'm probably not going to pay that much attention to you. It's good. See, because men start to think, well, I'm not special then to her, okay? If I'm not special then to her, then I definitely am going to need to prove myself to her in order to get access to her, okay? So let's just look at a simple chart here. We'll split this up. So we can get an idea of when men are in prove-it mode, the type of things they'll do versus when they feel like they're already special, okay? Okay, so let's look at 2 different versions of how guys will treat you and how they'll act in their relationship with you when they already feel special versus when they feel the need to prove it to you, okay? And when I say prove it to you, I mean prove to you that you're the one that they want, okay? So what are some of the things that they're gonna do when they wanna prove it? Okay? They're going to spend money, okay? They want to show that they're a big dog, show that they're a boss, show that they have money, show that they're financially stable, show that they can take you places and do things for you that no one else can do for you. What are they going to do? okay? They're gonna buy gifts. They're gonna do nice things for you. They're gonna take you fancy places. They're gonna try to show you a lifestyle that they think you can't deny, okay? What else are they gonna do? Okay? They're gonna be romantic. They're gonna be extra romantic and lay it on thick because they wanna show you, I'm your Prince Charming. I'm the guy you're looking for. I'm the guy you've been, dreaming of in all of your fantasy novels and your Wattpad stories. I am that guy. I'm gonna go above and beyond to show you I'm that guy, right? They're gonna be taking you out on dates. They're gonna be romantic on those dates. They're gonna be trying to put their best foot forward. What else are they gonna be doing, okay? Okay. Now, I'm saying press you. I don't mean pressuring you. I mean pressing you by being consistently on your body. All right. Now, this is like a little Gen Z terminology, but I'll break it down for you. Okay. When I'm saying press you, I mean press you in the sense where he is continuously pursuing you, reaching out to you, pushing this relationship forward. And that's precisely what you want. See, when guys are trying to prove themselves to you, they're constantly going to be putting pressure on the relationship to move it forward. Not so much pressure that you're uncomfortable and you don't want to go there with him or you're not ready for that, but just enough pressure that the relationship continues moving forward. And as you say, okay, I'm ready for this, or okay, I'm comfortable with this, then the relationship moves forward into the next step and the next step and the next step. Now, let's take a look at some of the things that guys will do when they already feel special. And this is the mistake. See, when you're overly nice, this is what guys feel. They feel like they're already special because you have told them how they're the most amazing thing since sliced bread, and they believe it now. So let's take a look at how they'll treat you when they feel like they're already special, okay? Right? They're going to be unmotivated, okay? Unmotivated to do anything for you, okay? Unmotivated to take you out, unmotivated to put their best foot forward. Why? Because they already feel special, okay? Also, okay? They're also going to be very unwilling to compromise with you. Why? Because if they already feel special, it doesn't behoove them to compromise with you in your relationship. So when you have a problem or you have a disagreement, he's more inclined to say, well, you already like me. You're already into me. You already want me. You already want to be with me. I'm already the best thing since sliced bread. So why am I compromising with you and in this relationship when you already love me to the maximum? Why do I need to, come to an understanding with you? Why do I need to, say sorry or apologize to you for anything I've done? Because you've already convinced me that I'm the best thing you can ever get access to. And you're never going to be able to do any better than me. What is he going to be doing as well when he already feels special? Okay. Absolutely no effort. Why? He already feels special, so what's the need to prove it to you? And unfortunately, when you make men feel like they're special from the very beginning, they put in way less effort because there is nowhere to go. See, sometimes you have to, Kitty said cheat. Sometimes you have to understand that men love video games for a reason. And they're addicted to video games for a reason, at least most men, okay? Not me. But the reason for that is because there's a constant cycle of putting in effort and doing work to get to a particular result. And even when they get to that particular result, right, they eventually realize that even though I accomplished, this challenge and I got to this place and I got this reward, there is still another challenge. So they're constantly trying to prove their worth in the video game. They're constantly trying to get to level 100. They're constantly trying to level up their rewards and their respect in the game to eventually feel like they're special, feel like they did something. Are you following what I'm saying? All right. And unfortunately, when you make them feel like they've already done something, even though they've done nothing for you, you, and this is the very beginning of the relationship when you're overly nice, instead of mean, they put in no effort. They don't press you. They're not trying to buy gifts or be romantic, but they're not doing none of that stuff because there is nowhere to go. There is nothing to prove. You've already shown them why they're the best thing since sliced bread. So when they feel the need to when they understand that they are not special, they're just like everyone else, they feel it's necessary to show you that they're special by acting that way, by doing things for you. It's exactly the reason, and see, there's obviously a right way and a wrong way to do this, but obviously when you're meeting men, what I want you to do throughout the entire relationship, I want you to constantly remind him that he is just like every other guy. I know it sounds mean. I know it sounds mean. Shh, don't tell anyone. Okay, I know it sounds mean. I want you to make him feel like he's just like any other guy. Now, you don't got to put him down, but I just want you to make sure you're not going over the top trying to make him feel like he's the only guy to ever do something for you, the only guy to ever be nice to you, the only guy to ever take you out. Now, you don't got to put him down while you do this, but I do want you to purposely make him feel like he's just like all the other guys. Someone said, give me an example. So I'll give you guys an example. So for example, let's say you're on a date with a guy and he's like, oh, I love, going on vacations. Vacations are so amazing. And, I'm just the type of guy, if I'm ever in a relationship, I would love to go on vacation with my girl and things like that. And you can say, oh, yeah, that would be so nice. I remember, when I was in, with my ex, we went to Bora Bora, and then we also went to Bali, and he also paid for a trip to like Mexico or something like that as a surprise for me and things like that. And these obviously can be truthful stories. Not all of you are going to be in that type of relationship, but you take the opportunity to just in process of conversation and talking about your past relationships and the things that you've experienced, whether it be guys you dated or guys you were just talking to, or simple nice gestures where someone went over the top for you, figure out how to weave those stories into your talking stages and into your dates, where guys can hear firsthand from you that you get princess treatment all the time. That's not irregular to you, and it doesn't make him special because he takes you out on one nice dinner date, okay? If he takes you to a fancy restaurant, you can be like, yeah, I was at Nobu, literally the other week with my girlfriends, and that was so amazing. Even if it's not something that a guy did for you. What we are trying to convey on your date is that, hey, you're great and awesome, and I'm glad to be on this date with you. However, being on this date with you isn't like, changing my life. I'm not, falling in love because I go on one nice date with you. I don't think that you're so amazing and so awesome and are incapable of mistakes because you take me out on one nice fancy date, okay? If you meet a guy on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble, okay, and you're going out on a date with him, you don't need to be telling, oh my God, you would take me here? No one's ever taken me here. This is the most amazing thing ever. I can't believe you would even ask me out on it. No, you don't worship men. You don't tell them that they're so unbelievably special for doing nothing for you, all right? And you want to make sure that from the very beginning, you make him feel like he's just like every other man. It's mean, and it's going to make you feel mean to not worship him and praise him and tell him how amazing he is. But you want to make sure you do this at the beginning so that they can be humble and still feel the need to prove themselves to you. Now, obviously, there will come a point where you're going to appreciate your man, but this has to come after you make him feel like he's not special. There's a very strategic way that I want you to do that. I dented my board. It's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. I'd be denting this board. I'd be hitting it so hard, okay? So, does that make sense to all of you so far, all right? And why that's important. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. Okay, we really in class here. Really in class. Okay, let's go to number 4. Our number 4 point. Can I even fit this here? Okay. So our number 4 point is male competition. all right? Now, what you want to understand is males are always competing with each other, whether you realize it or not, whether the men realize it or not. Why? Because male ego, that's why. So the reason I say that is because you want to understand, see, when you're mean to men, you're fitting that value expectation. As you fit that value expectation, they now say to themselves, if you're mean to me, and I also get the opportunity to see you be mean to other people, now that lets me know nobody gets you easy. And if nobody gets you easy, now I say to myself, there's a challenge in being with you and getting access to you because no one else gets that. So let's break this down a little bit more in an example so that you guys can kind of see how this works in theory, okay? So let's imagine there is a store, okay? So let's imagine store number one. I'll just give you guys really easy examples to understand. So I'll compare them like this, okay? I like doing this. I feel like it's the easiest for you guys to visualize. So in store number one, this is store number one. Store number one here so we're going to draw two stores here. And I want you guys to pay attention to this to kind of understand how men are comparing themselves with each other. So let's imagine there's two stores. And in those two stores, one, they both sell, let's just say, ice cream. Okay? They're both selling ice cream. Whatever. And in these two stores, right, you're trying to figure out which store sells the better ice cream. Store number one has 100 people lined up around it, okay? And store number two has one homeless person in front of it. Now, you tell me, chat, if you were to walk in front of both of these stores, let's say you check both of them out and you were super, super, super in the mood for some ice cream, but you haven't been to this city before, and you don't have no idea, no friends here, nobody to ask, and you just simply have to go by what you see to pick a store that you're gonna go to for ice cream. Which ice cream shop would you assume has more a better taste, better flavor, and would, do you better? Would you assume store number one sold better ice cream that would taste better? Or would you assume store number two sold better ice cream and tasted better? I want all of you in the chat to answer this. I want to make sure you're paying attention and I want to make sure you're participating, okay? So everyone in the chat, tell me, which store would you go to if you were in the mood for some ice cream to get and you couldn't go on Google, you couldn't go anywhere to find out what the reviews are. All you had to do, you had to pick one and walk into it. You have no phone, no nothing, no contact to the internet. You can't even ask anyone, okay? Which store do you think is going to have better ice cream? Store number one or store number two, okay? I see a lot of people saying store number one. I see some people saying store number two, okay? But a lot of people are saying store number one. Now, there's a reason for that, okay? Because you're actually judging the value of a store based on how many other people are in front of the store. Now, here's the funny, interesting reality, and this is like a 2024 reality, okay? Store number one okay? Store number one could be popular and have a line of 100 people outside of it simply because it had a viral TikTok. And let's say store number two okay? Store number two has no marketing. But when you go on store number one's ratings, okay, you see store number one only has a 2-star rating on Google, okay? 1,000 reviews, and it only has got a 2-star rating. People are saying there was a fly in my ice cream. People are saying, oh, in my waffle cone, it looked horrible. People are saying, oh my gosh, this ice cream tasted so watered down. I can't believe it. Someone said mid-cream, right? But they have a whole bunch of viral TikToks that makes their page look so amazing and makes the food look so amazing that you're like, damn, I really want to go to this ice cream shop. But store number two is so measly, it's got no one in front of it. And so you thought, oh man, nobody must like that ice cream shop. Nobody must be interested in that ice cream shop. However, when you looked up the Google reviews, store number two had 5 stars, okay? And in fact, store number two was so popular, right, that, excuse me, the reason there was no line outside is because store number two doesn't allow people to walk in. In fact, store number two, you realize after the fact, is actually like a gourmet ice cream shop. And so in order to get into store number two, the only way to get in is to book a reservation. And so that's why there's only one homeless person in front of store number two, because they know if they allowed people to walk in, they wouldn't be able to handle the amount of traffic. They also know they sell their ice cream at a premium, that they're not looking to get a whole bunch of teenage kids who only have a couple of dollars in their pocket to come get their ice cream. They want grown adults who want a gourmet experience because this is vegan, amazing almond milk extract, peanut oil, I don't know, whatever they do to ice cream these days that makes it amazing. That's what they do to their ice cream. They've got so many different flavors, so many different options. They only take reservations, meaning you can only order it, come in, pick it up, and walk out, which is exactly why there's no line. And so now some people are like, what a twist of events. So now all of a sudden, simply based on perception of what you see, how you see other people treating and approaching this ice cream shop, you determine this ice cream shop must have value. But in reality, the value of ice cream shop number one was basically nothing. And the value of ice cream shop number two with that more information was actually the one you should have been going for. Now, you're probably saying, Tomisin, how does this relate to what we're discussing with male competition? Well, here is the thing. Subconsciously, when you tell men no, they actually perceive your ice cream shop as having a long line outside of it, right? Because an ice cream shop that has 100 people outside of it is probably so busy because so many people want this ice cream, but there's not enough workers or a supply in order to be able to get all of those people in and serve them, right? So I think that must have a lot of value if there's so much demand for this ice cream. It's the exact same reason why clubs will hold a line, because they want other people who are walking down the street and walking down the strip to see a club with a huge long line of people waiting outside. When they see that huge long line of people waiting outside, they assume this must be a poppin' club. Have you ever seen a club where the line is gigantic and then when you walk inside the club, you're like, this club is like basically empty? Why was there such a long line outside when I walk in and this club is empty? Doesn't make sense. They're doing that to attract more people because they know psychologically when people see more people, they're going to assume, hey, this is a really good club. This is in a really amazing spot. So I say that to say, ironically, when you tell men no, they actually start to think to themselves, oh, there's competition for her. And because there's competition for her, is the reason why she's turning me down, because all these other men also want her. And so it actually becomes compounding if you can tell men no, but also show them in the process of them getting to know you and spending time with them that you also turn other people down. Now, it doesn't even always have to be romantic. See, one of the things that you can do when you start dating men is you can start showing them that you are happy to say no to people when it doesn't serve you, because you have many different places and ways that you can spend your time. And so because of that, you turn turn down a lot of things. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So let's say you're on a date with a guy and he's asking you, hey, so what are you up to this weekend, right? Rather than every weekend just having absolutely nothing to do and being available. What just happened here? What the heck? Oops, sorry, it took me off of TikTok. That was so strange. That was so weird. Anyways, we'll go back. So rather than having nothing to do, right? Rather than having nothing to do every single weekend where you're, spending your time, what I want you to start doing is, as you start talking to these guys and building with these guys, I want you to start showing them and telling them stories of how you turn down offers to go out, to go here, to do this because you have other things to do, right? And even I want you to turn down his offers as well when he asks you to do certain things, simply because we want to continue making it look like your store is constantly full. Someone said your TikTok live is down. Yeah, I started it there for you guys on TikTok. Don't you worry. So it's back up there on TikTok for those of you guys who want to watch it there. So we want to make sure that your store looks like it's always full. So there are times where you want to strategically turn guys down so that they have an opportunity to say, oh, well, maybe you have other things to do. You have other places to go. There's competition for you, okay? This is all very, very good. Now, the other thing that you want to do when it comes to male competition is you want to give guys a chance to see that other men also desire you. Now, this is where I want you to understand, I'm not advising you to act toxic, okay? I'm not telling you that you should, go out and sleep with the man in front of the man that you like. That's not what I'm saying. What I want you to do is, in the process of going out, of course, you're gonna have conversations with different people, different friends, and things like that. What I want you to start getting strategic at is allowing the men that you begin dating to see the fact that other guys also like you and also want you and also want to be with you. So if you're a pretty girl and you're out and about with your man, there's a good chance that at some point throughout the night, some guy is going to strike a conversation with you or say something to you or come up to you or anything like that in that world or in that realm. What I want you to start doing is, don't be so shy to not speak to the guys who, when you go out, come up to you or approach you even when you're with that guy. Now, I'm not saying you gotta flirt. I'm not saying you need to touch up on guys or do anything like that inappropriate. But what I want you to do is get good at holding a conversation with people who come up to you, especially when you get the sense that they're interested in you. Not because you have to be a toxic person, but it's good to show guys at the very beginning that there's competition for you. When you show them that there's competition for you, they can look at you like store and ice cream shop number one. They can start being of the belief that, hey, a lot of people are interested in you. A lot of people are lined up in front of this store. Must have some really, really good ice cream. Because if it didn't, a lot of people wouldn't be lined up. Now, the reason I gave you guys this example and how there was a little bit of a twist here is because I wanted you guys to see how perception drastically affects how you feel about something or what you think about something. And in reality, it might not even necessarily be like that, but that's good because in reality, you can control your perception. Right? And that's the best part about this. You don't have to have huge yitties. You don't have to have a huge dump truck. You don't have to look like a supermodel, right? And you can still be in control of your perception, create competition, and allow men to chase after you through the tunnel or perspective of ego. Meaning that because they want to feel better than other men and they know you're turning them down and turning other men down, all of a sudden, they feel like if I get access to this girl, then I'm so much better than all these other men. And I get to bask in the glory of stepping on all of my peasants because they can't compare to me or compare to the fact that I got the girl that no one else could get. Ha ha, I'm better than you, okay? So let's go on to our last point here, okay? Went a little bit over time. Let's go on to our last little point here. And then we'll be done. Okay? So in point number 5, something important that I just want you to remember. is the desire paradox. You are not capable, I've said this before, you are not capable of desiring something that is actively present in your life. When something is in abundance and readily available to you, that is when you think about it the least. You have to make sure that you are mean to men, not readily available to them, so that desire can actually be present. As there is more of you, people want less of you. So you have to scale back and give them less from the very beginning so they have room to desire more of you, okay? I gave this example, I've given this example before, okay? But let's do this in a different way. So let's say that let's say you come to my house, right? So you come to my house. You're at my house. We're having a good old time. And let's just imagine what it would look like to be in these two scenarios. Let's imagine in scenario number one, when you come to my house, right? Everything is available to you, right? So you've got all the snacks that you could possibly want. We're having a little sleepover and I let you eat whatever you want, okay? So you can eat anything. You can drink anything. Okay, and you can do anything in my house, okay? Except for maybe a few things. But you can do anything. Now, let's say for the sake of example, I allow you in scenario number two to do everything in my house, go anywhere, try anything, eat anything, drink anything, except for the forbidden chocolate chip cookies. I love cookies, okay? The forbidden chocolate chip cookies on top of my refrigerator. And I tell you that I have so many things in my pantry, so many things in my fridge, so many things on the stove. I even made some food hot and ready just for you, exactly how you like it. The only thing I don't want you to eat is the forbidden cookies on top of the refrigerator because they're off limits. And if you eat them, I'm gonna unalive you. Very gruesomely. And you're sitting there like, okay, Tomisin, why are these cookies so important? I'm confused. And I tell you, don't worry about why the cookies are important. Just worry about the fact that I said don't touch them, don't look at them, don't inspect them, don't get close to them, and you damn sure better not eat them. Now all of a sudden, you're gonna be saying to yourself, why? What do the cookies taste like? What do they smell like? Is there something in them, right? Am I gonna get something from it? How will they make me feel when I bite into a taste of those cookies, right? All of these questions only arose in your mind when I told you you couldn't have the cookies. When I offered you everything, including the cookies and any other snack in the pantry, you were able to eat anything, drink anything, do anything. And so you weren't asking any questions about anything. There was abundance everywhere. But the moment I gave you one stipulation, that was the one thing that your mind turned to. So I give you this understanding and perspective to help you understand that there's always going to be a paradox of desire, meaning that you're thinking, hey, if I'm more present, guys will want me more. If I'm nicer to them, guys will want me more. If I do more things for them, guys will want me more. However, there's a paradox there. As you're nicer, as you do more, as you're more present, guys say, actually, I don't think about you as much. I don't question as much. I don't desire you as much. Why? Because I can eat anything, drink anything, and do anything in your house. So it's great, but I don't have a need or a desire to know more, inspect more, to see what this is all about. And unfortunately, when you're a forbidden cookie or forbidden fruit for some of you who are religious, people start asking why. What do you taste like? Literally and figuratively, right? How will you make me feel if I'm with you? What are you doing? Where are you at? How do you spend your time? Why don't you want me? You don't seem that interested in me. How can I make you interested in me? How can I make you want me? You're so mean to me. How can I make you nice? How can I make you sweet? How can I make you want to go out on a date with me, right? All of these questions that men begin asking themselves simply because you're mean. Simply because you don't say yes to the first thing. Simply because you don't seem super ecstatic or over the moon simply because a guy came up to you and asked you out on a date. Simply because you say no to the first time he asked for your number. Simply because you don't make the process of him trying to get to know you easy for him. Meaning you don't seem like you're impressed. You don't allow yourself to spend all your days with him and all your time with him. You limit yourself and limit your schedule to only allowing a certain amount of hours and days of the week with him. All of that is mean. But it turns you into one of these forbidden cookies. I was going to say forbidden fruits, right? And then the desire paradox comes into play, where now that you're actually mean, men can do all of the things we discussed today, right? Men begin to put some sweat equity into you, right? Men begin to, you start to align yourself with the value expectation of what they have of someone like you who a lot of men want. They also start to act special in order to prove themselves as being special in your relationship. And then on top of that, when they see that there's competition, because when you're saying no to them and saying no to other people, now all of a sudden they're thinking in their mind, getting you is a sign and a signal to all the other men that I'm so much better and more amazing than them. Now they're attaching their ego to you and they put even more of their best foot forward. And then the desire paradox, where because you're unavailable to them, because you're not an easy access to them, all of a sudden you being mean makes you more attractive to them. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, obviously, there's a right and a wrong way to be mean, and we kind of broke that down a little bit in point number 2. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as well. I'm not just saying being mean by cursing them out and calling them names. There's a strategic way to be mean to get guys to like you and be more obsessed with you. Okay. But do those 5 points make sense to you all? All right. So we had number 1, which was sweat equity. Number 2, value expectation. Number 3, act special to be special. Number 4, male competition. And number 5, the desire paradox. Does that make sense to all of you beautiful people? Do you guys have any questions? Okay. Someone says, can you give another example? All my examples are on my YouTube page. So go on my YouTube page. It's right above my head, right above my head on the top right of the screen. You can rewatch the entire show if, one example went so fast that you feel like you forgot about it, okay? Don't you worry, all right? You can always go on my YouTube. It's just Tomisin. Just type in Tomisin Atobatele. It's right on the top right of the screen. And then you go onto my YouTube page. You'll be able to rewatch this entire show, and you'll be able to see all of the points that I did there, okay? Does that make sense? You guys are real funny with the standing comments. I see you guys really love the whiteboard. I'm glad you all love the whiteboard. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's good. All right. So someone says how to be mean. I talked about that earlier in the show, so make sure you go onto the YouTube channel so that you can rewind it and rewatch my point when I explain how to be mean properly. Okay, there's a right and a wrong way to do that, right? Lou says how to do this once you're in a relationship. The same thing applies, right? You're still not going to be You never want to make guys feel like they're the be all and end all of your life, even when you're in a relationship with them. Okay. I know that that sounds mean. However, that's where you need to have men in order for them to continuously want to put their best foot forward in the relationship. So honestly, truthfully, none of this stuff that we talked about changes whether you're in a long-term relationship or not. All that happens is you make an adjustment for what is realistic in your relationship. Meaning, for example, obviously the man that you're dating, you're going to compliment sometimes. Obviously, you're going to show him appreciation sometimes. You're not going to make the guy you've been dating for 3 years feel like he's just like everyone else. However, when you're dating that man, you don't make the mistake of going overboard where you're showing him appreciation for doing nothing for you, okay? And you also don't make the mistake of vice versa, not showing him appreciation where he's going above and beyond. So it's slightly adjusted, but I've talked about that in many different formats when it comes to managing your relationships, maintaining them, and knowing how to give your man what he needs in order to continue receiving princess treatment from him. I actually have a whole show about that, and that's available on my YouTube channel for you guys as well, okay? Someone said you should sell water bottle merch if you don't already, maybe one day, okay? Does that make sense? So BB says, Tommy does the whiteboard for 55 hours. I have the attention span of a grizzly bear. Okay, yeah, I mean, if you're here all the time paying attention, you definitely do. Trust me, we gonna go even crazier than the whiteboard. I'm gonna start bringing my TV in here. We're gonna start doing presentations. This is literally gonna be like you in class, classy, class, for real, class. Okay? Nicole says, how do we know if we are being just a conquest to be conquered or a long-term type of thing, okay? So that's a good question, but that's something that you determine over the course of time, because the real honest truth about it is some men that come to you and they court you and they start trying to date you, those men are going to be doing it for the purpose of, let's say, getting in bed with you. That's the honest truth. Now, that's what the Players Club is all for, is taking your time to understand what you're supposed to be looking for and how to decipher men's actions so that in time, you'll be able to tell the difference between men who are serious and unserious. Because the reality of it is, I couldn't give you the snap of a finger answer where I can tell you, hey, just listen to him say this one thing or answer this one question, and that will tell you all the things you need to know. The reality of it is there's so many things to be looking for, and you have to be aware of what you're looking for and how to decode those messages over the course of time, okay? That's not like a magic pill or magic potion type of formula, okay? Cashley says, may I suggest a remarkable paper tablet for your live presentations? What do you mean, like a paper tablet? What do you mean, like something I can write on digitally? Would you guys rather the whiteboard on the iPad or the whiteboard here? Because if I'm on the iPad, though, I won't be standing up, and I assume that some of you guys really like that I'm standing up, interacting with the whiteboard. But if I'm on the iPad, obviously, I'll be sitting down, okay? But it's whatever you guys like better. Let me go on to one of these donations here. Oh, by the way, thank you, Nicole, for the donation of $5. Jay donates $5 in the YouTube chat as well. Jay says, what if there's no competition for us? Do we just lie? Well, here's the thing. Even if there's no competition for you, saying no to men makes them feel like there's competition for you. Why? Because men don't assume, right, in their mind, remember when we talked about value expectation, men don't assume that when you tell them no sometimes or when you're a little bit mean to them, that there's no competition for you. Because they're making the assumption that the only way you'd be willing to say no to me, turn me down sometimes, or even be a little bit mean to me and not worship the ground I walk on is if you have other options and you're not desperate for my time and attention. So even if there aren't men worshiping at your feet or, you know, messaging you and DMing you all day, you can still give off the type of energy that, hey, yeah, cool that you want to date me, but you're not the first guy to want to date me, okay? That already in itself makes men feel like, oh, I'm not that amazing, okay? And it's good, it's good. Men should feel that you date, that they're not that amazing just by the simple fact that they exist. They should have to show you they're amazing over the course of time, okay? It's very, very good. It's very, very good. Very, very good, all right? Aloha says, I can't get past the talking stage because they just want to smash. Trust me, if you join the Players Club for enough days, you'll eventually get yourself out of that stage. Now, it'll be painful because what you're going to realize is some of the guys you're talking to are just there to waste your time, but you'll get very good at spotting when guys are trying to waste your time, and it'll become really, really easy for you to be efficient with your time instead of spending it, trying to figure a guy out only to realize the whole time he was just trying to sleep with you. Okay. All right, chat, let's hop into our next segment. I went super overtime. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'm going to move my chair back so we can hop into our react segment. So spam up the headphone emoji, spam up the baby oil emoji, spam up the camera emojis, because we're going to head into our segment where I react to stuff on the internet and on TikTok. And while I clean this up, I'm going to play you guys a little video from one of our favorite creators, Margarita. Okay. And I'm going to play this video for you all while we...
You know what you think, but this video is about how to activate your black cat energy and what it really means. I think it is a really pivotal, important conversation because black cat energy allows us to be two things as a woman in the world, and we've arrived to this new precipice in life. It allows us to both be feminine, alluring, sexy, but also at the same time it allows us to be stoic, strong, moving forward. We've had to choose between careers and children and all these things. It's a really confusing thing being a woman. I get it. A lot of you message me saying, I don't know whether to step into motherhood. Is it going to take a lot away from me? What am I going to do? What am I not going to do? It's confusing. And black cat energy tells you that you can be this woman who he chases. You are ultimately feminine. You are gorgeous, but you are also strong. The black cat energy allows you to be authentic and truly, truly feminine. So I thought I would do this video to tell you how to activate that. This video is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform where you can find a therapist that suits you. You can find them usually by 48 hours or thereabout, and you can see if they suit you. You can text them if you don't like talking to someone on the phone. I often don't like it. You don't have to travel anywhere to talk to them, which, as I said, in this Mercury retrograde and the busiest era of my life, with small children and everything, I can't find time to leave the house. If you need a second opinion on questions like externalizing and things like that, you can talk to that therapist. And if they don't suit you, you can find another one. You don't have that discomfort of, not coming to them again and them hassling to you as to why you're not attending, which can happen sometimes in real therapy settings, which I find really uncomfortable. So if you want to use my discount code, I will leave it in the description box below. It's BetterHelp/Margarita. And you can get a % off for your first time signing up and enjoy that discount and have a chat with a therapist that suits you. Enjoy. Black cat energy is made up of 4 principles. It is independence. What does independence mean? Independence does not mean not caring or sharing and being cold and horrible. No, it means having an independence of spirit and mind, that you're not always asking him what he thinks. You're not always asking other people what they think. You are okay with other people disagreeing. You have an independence, and it's not always what you think it is, like financial independence, like you make your own money and you're a boss babe. Because at the same time, a lot of women who make their own money and are boss babes really are codependent, and they really care about what society thinks or people at their job think or what their boss thinks, and that is not black cat energy. It is not an independent spirit and mind. Second thing it is mystery. A lot of us are in this cult of authenticity where you've got to tell everyone what your bowel movements look like, and the reality is, to be a really alluring woman, you've got to understand that life opens up like a book. It's like a storyline. You can't give everything away straight away and think that you're going to be magnetic and alluring. Mystery is very alluring, and even if you do find the person you're meant to be with, the old adage is like, we're supposed to just be ourselves and we shouldn't play games, and that's great. Games aren't a bad thing. The thing that makes us incredibly interesting as mammals and rats and monkeys and a lot of different species that are relationally dependent is that we play games. If you don't allow small mammals to play games, they literally cannot thrive. It is part of what makes us us. Games are a very, very good thing. Games are not a bad thing. You shouldn't look down on it just because, you know, we're all set to be so authentic. So it's independence, it is mystery, followed by being unapologetic, and number 4 is confidence. Unapologetic, never complain, never explain. I've told you that till the cows come home. I've told you that many, many times. It is a very, very interesting and pure essence of being black cat energy. We spend a lot of time apologizing for ourselves, not knowing who we are. This does not mean that she's mean and horrible and never owns up to what she's done wrong. It just means that she doesn't depend on people like that. And confidence. Confidence means she knows her mind, she knows who she is, she
our next segment, which is Love Margarita. She's talking some great stuff on here. Let's hop into our next segment here. For our reactions, where I'm gonna be reacting to some videos that are coming to us around town, and we're gonna be watching them and seeing them together. Okay, let's get started with our first one. Okay, for this first video here, I have a very special video that I want us to watch together. I see this video on so it's like your mic. What's wrong with the mic? Is there something wrong with that? Oh, it's got that robot voice thing. Sorry about that, chat. Hold on, let me see this. Still like this? Still a robot voice. Tell me in the chat, is it still robot voice? And it's still like robot voice. I'll get my other. I'll get my. Sorry, I gotta get. I'm not restarting because of this. I'll get my other mic and we do this thing. Okay. No robot voice for Donnie and no robot voice for me. I'm not playing with. Okay.
Okay. We're just gonna do my little pin mic, so it's not gonna be my other mic. But I do want us to have a discussion. Is this better? Is this at least not robot anymore? It's not robot anymore, okay, right? Okay, so let's do this here. I want us to watch this video together. This is a really, really interesting video, and I really want us to see this. It's quite interesting. I don't know how else to describe it to you except for let's just watch it together.
You live in LA with your.
Okay, so we're gonna have just a tiny bit of a discussion on this because when I seen this, I was just like, wow, this is really tragic. I feel bad. But here's the thing. This can happen to any of us if we're not careful about when asking questions of the people we're dating and even asking questions on an ongoing basis. And when I say asking questions, I know some of you guys hear me say it and then you're thinking, Tomisin, who like asking questions, like that's not the answer to everything, Tomisin. It really is, because sometimes even in your relationship, you can become comfortable believing whatever you want to believe in. And you always, even in your relationship, should be checking in with your partner to see how they really feel about things. And this is the really scary part about guys. And also one of the things that I want to try and warn you all of when you're dating guys. Anytime you're with a guy and you find yourself in a position with this guy where you never fight, never argue, never have any issues with him in your relationship, you should be getting concerned, because those guys aren't actually never having issues. They're just being quiet about their issues or the things that they don't like. And sometimes they just come back one day and they're like, yeah, you know what? I don't want a relationship anymore. And then you're shocked. Now, obviously, I'm never going to blame the person, you know, the victim of the situation. And that's why this happened to her. But when you hear stories like this, or you hear stories like the Risa Tisa story and things like that, right? Where my mind goes and what I always like to make a teachable moment out of that is make sure that you have a real understanding of like, what is our relationship? How do you feel? What do you want? And are we still on the same page here? Because guys get really, really good at suppressing their feelings and not talking about stuff and making it seem like everything's so amazing and it's so good, and they don't have any real conversation with you. And sometimes if you don't do a good job of digging deep, you won't get those answers until it's too late. And trust me, everyone who's an individual who has their own perspective in life, they feel differently about stuff too. They have their own opinions about stuff too. They have issues, get mad and upset too. So the idea that you'd be in a relationship and never have an issue with the guy is just not realistic. So I want you guys to remember that and never forget that when it comes to dating men. I just seen it and I was just like, wow, this is crazy, okay? Let's go on to our next video.
I hate to say this, but most women will spend their entire lifetime and never experience the meaning of actual true love. It's even slightly depressing if you ask me. And so I'm going to give you a few examples of a real man who truly loves you. You see, a real man will ask about your day, but he's genuinely going to care about the answer. A real man respects your boundaries, and he's never going to have you do something that you're not ready to do. He's going to make time for you, and he's going to make time to understand who you are as a person. A real man will consistently show you the definition of effort with every day that passes. He's going to call you randomly throughout the day to check up on you and to check up on your mental health. A real man is undeniably committed to you, and he looks for new ways to fall in love with you every single day. He makes protecting your heart his #1 priority. And a real man will never make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. He's never going to confuse you on where you stand in his life. A real man apologizes when he's wrong, and he stays true to his character. A real man doesn't mind hurting other people's feelings in order to protect yours. A real man will give you affection without any sexual expectations. A real man refuses to entertain any other woman that isn't you. He has genuine intentions with you from day one, and he shows you how it truly feels to be a priority instead of an option. A real man is going to help you heal from trauma that nobody apologized for. A real man values you and would never, ever put himself in a position to lose you. So please, take my advice and wait for the man that will never let you go to sleep questioning your self-worth. I
like that. Oh, by the way,
is my other mic, is it still sideboardy? Is this one still sideboardy? Let me know in the chat if it is, then I'll switch back to my other mic. I just want to see if making that change made it less sideboardy. Still robot? Okay. F this mic. Okay.
The other one. All right. I like everything that Patrick said in his explanation here. And I know like all of the stuff that he talks about is easier obviously said than it actually is, done in terms of like when you're in a relationship with someone or you're talking to someone, it's easier to talk about knowing these things are present, but it's harder to actually like feel if they really are present. Well, but there is a particular rhythm and pace that a natural relationship is supposed to go by. And one of the things that you'll take notice of that he didn't say, right, that you shouldn't feel with a real man, is feeling like things are moving too fast or feeling uncomfortable in that relationship. Because a lot of times you can be tricked. See, it's easier to spot the tricks when it comes to guys not treating you right. But sometimes guys can be moving relationships with you so fast that you're like, even though I know you like me and you want this relationship with me, at least you say you do, I still feel like this is moving too fast for my liking, that I still feel a little bit uncomfortable. And that can also be a red flag in itself as well. But in terms of everything he said here, I do like what he said and I do agree with most of it, okay? Let's go to our next one.
Lie to these men. Tell me why a man I used to love reached out to me multiple times trying to get things back. Like, oh, I miss your energy, I miss you. After multiple attempts, I stood on business. Why this man messaged me and say, I don't understand why you being so hard on me. You didn't accept the worst in your past.
I don't think that you should lie to a man.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let her finish. I don't want to interject. I don't want to interrupt. Okay, let her.
About your past, you can be an open book. Just let that man read one chapter at a time. Because there are some men that ask you questions, not because they want to get to know you, but because they're trying to find the best angle to play you with. They want to know if you've been with a cheater before so they can know if they can cheat on you. If you stayed with them, you should stay with him. They want to know if you've supported a man in your past and paid bills so they can know if they can split bills with you. Some of them want to know what all you've accepted so they can know exactly what all they can put you through. You should be listening to these men and finding out if they're a good fit for you, because some of these men will adapt and adjust and become chameleons trying to be who they think you want them to be until they can get what they want from you. The thing about it is, I don't care what you've put up with in the past. You can decide at any point, at any time, for any reason, you don't put up with it anymore.
Lie to these men. Tell me why a man I used to love.
I tell you all the time, okay? I'm not going to advise you to lie. However, what she said here is very true and it will happen to you 100,000%. Men all think that when they start dating you, they all think they're better than your exes. They all think they're better than all the guys you've ever seen before. So when you go on hard, long diatribes, which just means long rants, about the fact that this guy did this to you and you stayed and forgave and he mistreated, he's going to say, wow, that guy doesn't even have half the schlong I do. I've got a bigger D than him. I've got more money than him. I'm more handsome than he is. So when guys hear that, they subconsciously start thinking if you put up with that, then you should be glad to put up with me, who's got a bigger schlong, more money and more access and more resources, because he was a bum and you let that slide. So I should get way more runway. And it's very bad. It sets a bad precedent. When you go on dates with guys, you don't have to lie. But what you want to do is, even if you made a mistake, even if he cheated on you, even if he did you dirty, how I want you to approach describing that relationship is, when I realized that that person was no longer aligned with me and what I was looking for in a relationship, I cut him off forever. He doesn't have access to me. He can't call me. He can't text me. He can't if I saw him on the side of the road with his thumb up because he needed a hitchhike because he was stranded, I wouldn't pick him up. He can't message my mom, my best friend, my sister, my aunt. He can't message no one in my family. If he tries to, he gets blocked. He gets a new phone, he gets blocked. He makes a new account, he gets blocked. He can't even sniff my farts. Not a chance. He had his opportunity. It's done now. And you really need to step on it that hard. That way, instead of it being like a story where he's hearing it and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe she let this slide. Now I know I'm going to be able to take advantage of her. Instead of that, it becomes like a horror story where he's like, oh my God, look at what happened to the last guy who mistreated her. I better make sure I'm actually, doing the right thing in this relationship, because if I act a fool, I don't even know if I'll get a second chance, because that guy can't message her. She blocked him. She can't even, damn. She ain't play for real. Okay. And remember, guys are always learning you 24/7 from the very beginning. They're learning you. They're hearing what you allow, what you don't allow, what they can get away with. Remember, men are opportunists. If you require more of them, they will reach those heights. If you require less or nothing of them, they will reach those heights as well. And they'll be looking to still get access to you in whatever capacity that they can. Okay?
How can you go to a bar with your friends? No, absolutely not.
Would have been fun, but fine, I guess.
What do you mean fine?
Fine, I won't go.
Like, it's going to be late. Who knows the type of people that are going to be there, that they're going to be outside.
Yeah, you have a point. You do.
I'm just going to get worried for no reason. Why should I be worried?
Yes, and I don't want you to be worried. That's why I'm not going. So.
Why?
Because you're right.
I don't get it.
You don't want me to go because you would rather me be safe.
Yes.
Okay then, there's no issue. You're right. I agree. Okay?
I don't even like your friends anyway, like, truth be told.
You're right. I should stop talking to them too. I think they're jealous deep down.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
good. And you need to dress more modestly. Like, what the hell is this? Seriously, how am I going to introduce you to my parents?
I thought I did, but I'll try to dress more modest for you, if you would like.
See? No. That's where you're wrong. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself.
You're right. I'll do it for myself. That's true. Thank you.
What are you doing?
I will.
What? You're
Why?
agreeing with everything I'm saying. It's annoying me.
Because you're right.
It's what I. Do
What?
you know what? I don't think we're right for each other. This is just weird. Let's just end it here, please. You're too confusing. What game are you trying to play? Agreeing with everything I'm saying?
No
Please,
game.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Wait, what? Wow. You just can't win, can you? Thank you very much. Next.
How can you go to a bar with your friends? No, absolutely not.
I think this is more comedy. I don't think there's really anything to comment on. I think there are some people that you'll date, some men especially that you'll date. They love to argue more than anything. So they're not really in the business of coming up with solutions and solving problems. They're more in the business of creating problems. Some men are like that. Okay, something you should take note of and spot if you're ever dating someone that's like this, right? That you know, there is no real compromise, and there are more people in the world like this than you think, right? Where they don't understand, and this is part of being a mature man. They don't understand that being in a relationship is not just about disagreeing, it's also about compromising and figuring out solutions to those problems. Because if you date a guy and you have disagreements or don't see eye to eye on things, and it just stays a disagreement and it stays a problem, then there's no way out from that place in the relationship. And you're constantly going to be going in a hamster wheel. It takes a level of emotional maturity to not only identify problems, but start working towards solutions to problems. Some people are only interested in arguing though. So take note of that for sure.
I'm going to give you a life hack that's going to change how you attach to people, how people respond to you, how magnetic you are, and it's going to stop you suffering about guys, okay? It's going to stop. I'm going to nip that right in the bud, okay? Like this. This is what men do. Men do this. They are the kings of this. That's where I got it from. Men. When Gerald does something for you, instead of thinking, and let's say Gerald got you a meal, he made you a meal. Instead of thinking, wow, Gerald is so amazing, he made me a meal. Gerald is so amazing, he changed my tires. Gerald is so amazing, he bought me some flowers. You uno reverso. I am so amazing, he decided to make me a meal. I am so amazing, he changed my tire. I am so amazing, he bought me flowers. When you do amazing things for a man, he doesn't think, wow, she's so amazing, she did that for me. He thinks, I'm so amazing, I must deserve that. And his ego grows. The more you do for him, the more he loves himself. The more you do for yourself, the more he loves you. I've told you that formula. Now, to stop yourself getting over-attached to him and obsessed with him and all about him, which is what we do because we love in a maternal way, every time he does something for you, what are you going to do? Must mean I'm so amazing. Do what he does. Must mean I'm so good. Every time the world is kind to you, give it as a merit to yourself, not to him. So at the end of it, you're going to be more and more attached to you and not to him. You're welcome.
What the heck? Why is someone saying someone from One Direction passed away? Is that true? I like what Margarita said though here, in terms of flipping your mindset, because it allows you to start perceiving when guys are acting right as a function of the fact that you deserve that, not that you don't deserve that. So what she's trying to discuss here is the idea that like you should feel like you deserve good treatment in a relationship, not feel like it's not something is not your right, or something that you should be unfamiliar with. Because like I mentioned to you guys before, when you're in a relationship and you guys are, you're talking to a guy and he's doing stuff for you, or, he's trying to put his best foot forward, you don't want to make it seem like, oh my God, you're the first guy to ever take me out on a date, or oh my God, you're the first guy to ever buy me flowers, because that kind of doesn't fit the value expectation. Obviously, though, when you're in a serious relationship with him and he's your boyfriend, there are times where you do want to show him appreciation in order to stimulate and encourage that same behavior. So there's a time and place for both. But in terms of your mindset, you do want to have the belief within yourself that you are worthy of that treatment. It's not something that he's bestowing upon you because he's so amazing. Like she said, it's because you are worthy of that treatment, okay? Right? Does that make sense? Someone says, Gloria says, can we still be grateful? Of course. And I want you to be grateful at the right times, okay? And for the right reasons, in the right ratio, meaning I don't want you to be grateful for a guy simply taking you out on, one date after he meets you on Hinge, okay? I don't want you to be grateful for a guy ordering Uber Eats for you to his house watching Netflix. What I want you to be grateful for is when you notice guys going above and beyond for you and going the extra mile. So in those first few, months that you're dating, those moments where he goes the extra mile, that's when I want you to show that appreciation relative to him going the extra mile, okay? So just for the sake of example, if a guy that you're dating, instead of just, having a regular date, he surprises you with a dinner date, he, buys you a necklace or purchases you a dress, let's make it something smaller, purchases you a dress and takes you on a surprise adventure date to somewhere that you've been saying you wanted to go, that's when you show him some extra appreciation for the fact that, hey, I really love what you did here, and I really love seeing you put your best foot forward in our relationship, okay? But what you don't want to get into the habit of doing is telling men they're so amazing when they're doing nothing for you, because that can also be, kind of a bad thing, right? Does that make sense? Rest in peace to Liam Payne. I guess Liam Payne did just pass. That's so sad. Yeah, that's so sad. Rest in peace to Liam Payne from One Direction, okay? Let's go on to our next video here that we'll discuss.
I'm going to be very transparent with you all. A man's dream girl is a combination of 5 things. Emotional intelligence, intellectually stimulating, physically appealing, disciplined, feminine, simple. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be very transparent with you all. A man's dream girl is a combination of 5 things. Emotional intelligence, intellectually stimulating, physically appealing, disciplined, feminine, simple. Yeah.
Notice all the ones that she said there are really about you. So when you're in a relationship or you're thinking about how to be a more desirable version of yourself, all you got to do is invest in you, not be investing in anyone else or anything else other than yourself. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. Someone said Liam Payne.
When you are talking,
Liam Payne fell off a building. That's insane. That's insane.
To your partner about feelings,
Rest in peace to Liam Payne.
Go back to their childhood. Google this term, list of feelings, and you'll come up with 1,000 different feelings. Here's an assignment for y'all. Pick a feeling. So let's say the feeling is happy. Ask your partner to tell you a time in their childhood when they felt happy. If the feeling is sad, ask your partner to tell you a time in their childhood when they were sad. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to get y'all close. And the best way to get close, y'all want to be close? Y'all want to have greater intimacy? Y'all want to get along? I'm summarizing for you the whole counseling model, feelings. What's made me a successful counselor, what's made me a successful therapist is because when people come into my office with their pain, with their problems, with their issues, with their challenges, I don't care what they come in my office with, I'm on the front row seat trying to get into, tell me how you feel. When you are talking to your partner about feelings, go back to their childhood.
He reminds me of a pastor. This is really factual what Sean is saying here. Feelings are so important. It's actually, remember when we were watching our first video of the day and this guy was talking about, the girl was talking about in her video how this guy shocked her. They moved to Florida and then all of a sudden, they moved to Texas. And then all of a sudden, he just said, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And she was super shocked. Not that that's her fault, but these are the reasons why you always want to be digging deep, even with your partner, and never stop digging and never stop asking questions and never stop wondering, how do they really feel? What do they really want? What do they really desire? And getting those stories. And you might see the way you'll fool yourself in relationships is by convincing yourself that you already know everything you need to know about your partner, because you never will, and you're not supposed to, okay? There's a lifetime to learn about someone, and they're constantly changing and adjusting, so there's always going to be more you can learn or understand about another human being. And so I say that to say, always stay curious. Stay curious in your relationships, and stay curious about your partner. Not that you assume they're doing anything wrong or doing something bad or anything like that, but just stay curious that that you are always wondering, what do they think? What do they feel? What do they want? What do they desire? What motivates them? And you're continuing to ask those questions so that you're continuing to get answers and know what's going on in your relationship and with your partner, okay? Right? Did someone do a poll? Oh, I think someone did a poll in our TikTok chat. It said 100% whiteboard. Okay, so that's crazy. Okay, right? RP Liam Payne. That is so crazy. Okay, I didn't used to listen to One Direction, but I know Liam Payne, so that's very sad. That's very, very sad. Let's go on to our next segment, chat. All right, spam up your headphone emoji, or not headphone emoji. Spam up your. What emojis do we use for this time of the day? I don't know what emojis we use. Anyways, you know what time that we're about to head into. It's that time of the day. It's an amazing time. It's an awesome time. It's a time where you're gonna laugh and cry. Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look anywhere else in your home. We're gonna have fun with this today. If you don't know what time it is, I'm gonna tell you what time. Chat, let's hop into our Discord time for those of you who are unfamiliar and don't know what's going on. Enough joking for now. Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of our Discord Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship, and I answer it live on the show. Let me fix up my camera here. That looks pretty funny. And I answer it live on the show. There are multiple different options in which you can ask me your question and I answer it. Now, the first option is for you to send your question into our free relationship advice section, and I answer it live on the show. And you can get access to that by simply going into the link in my bio or the link in my description if you're on YouTube. You go into our Discord section, you ask your question, and I'll answer it. Now, however, I have to warn you though, in our free relationship advice forum here, you can see all these highlighted questions. That's because these are questions I haven't gone to yet. So it's going to take me a while to get to your question. Probably it's not maybe like a week or so, right? It's not going to be instantly. And so if you don't want to wait for your question to get asked because you're impatient and you don't have time to be waiting that long, don't worry. You have another option to send in your question, and you do that through our premium relationship advice section. Now, this section is similar to our free one, except this one is like a VIP pass at a theme park because you get to skip the line of people and you don't have to wait because I read these out first. So if you want to get access to this part of our Discord, our premium section, you go to the same link in my TikTok or in my description. You click where it says premium relationship advice. You donate to the show, because that's how you get the premium pass. You donate to the show, and when you donate to the show, you're going to be prompted to send in your username and the title of your question. I get a notification on my phone. I can see and confirm that that's you and that's your question. And then when we hop into the Discord, well, it's all good in the hood, and I don't have to be concerned that people are dropping in their questions that aren't supposed to be in there. Now, if you don't want your relationship to be on blast, for everyone to see what's going on, because you're a little bit nervy about that, that's fine. You also have the option to submit your question to me via a private relationship question through the link that's in our Discord, or it's also available in my TikTok bio and my link in my description, where you guys can watch that and see that there as well, okay? So let's hop into our first our first premium question here as well. Oh, by the way, in the private questions, I respond with a voice message through your email, okay? Let's hop in here and we will have a discussion. So first off, we have the I'm busy text of doom. Dream Manifestor says, update, more has happened since my earlier post. To summarize, I'm the one that got the I'm busy text of relationship doom. after questioning if our interest level was the same. It's a very easy mistake to make, but it is a mistake. We've been out a handful of times and have not had pineapples. After I said that, I understood he has other priorities for the next 2 to 3 weeks. He replied, "Thank you for understanding, beautiful." There was another mutual text exchange a day later. I wanted to thank him for his advice on an issue I had with my car, which helped me finally get to repairs, the repairs that I needed after my mechanic gave me the runaround. Plus, I took it as an opportunity to act as a damsel in distress. Okay, good. And make him feel like a manly man who solved my problem. The day after, I text again, which you shouldn't have, I know, saying, I hope the next few weeks go by quickly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't say this type of stuff. Okay, I know you like him, but it's just unnecessary. He'll text you when he's ready to text you. Talking about how you're literally in agony until he texts you again, it's not gonna work, okay? It's not gonna do anything. Weeks go by quickly because I miss spending time with him with a cute, non-provocative selfie. I was feeling confident. I'm glad you specified that, okay? Because I would have thought your pants were at your ankles or something like that. I was feeling confident, or at least as confident as I can be for an anxious person, when he put a timeline on how long he would be busy. But since he did not reply to my last message, now I'm wondering if I'm just being stupid and if his being busy was just a nice way to say he's no longer interested. Half of the 2 to 3 weeks he is busy is due to international work travel, so he legitimately has other priorities. So you're kind of answering the question for yourself there. He's never been a big texter, but I know you mentioned that texting does not equate to interest. It doesn't. When he has texted, it's always been with the purpose to plan dates. That's perfectly fine. No fluff. That's perfectly fine. And as long as he's asking you out on the dates, that's perfectly fine. My last text to him was 4 days ago, and I deleted his number so I wouldn't continue to be an anxious text warrior. I'm curious about your opinion. Should I just assume it's a wrap? Is all hope lost? Or is he just entertaining my last message for, entertaining? What do you mean? I think you meant to say ignoring my last message for the time being. Here's the thing, dream manifester. Unfortunately, you're not really going to know which one is which until the 2 weeks is up. What I mean by that is there are only a certain finite amount of things you can control in your relationships. After that amount of things, is up, like the things you can control, there becomes nothing left to control. And so when a guy tells you that he's busy and he tells you that, he's not going to be available for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I know it does sound shady and it does sound like, damn, he must not be interested in me. But unfortunately, all you have to do is wait and see. Now, obviously, I'm not advising you to sit around and wait for weeks and weeks and weeks with nothing and no answers, just hoping that he'll talk to you and want to be with you. What I'm saying is, let's see. You live your life, continue living your life, continue doing your thing and doing things for you. And in this time, if he says specifically that I just need 2 to 3 weeks to be able to get this in order and do this and do that, cool. You wait your 2 to 3 weeks. If in that time period, nothing has progressed and he doesn't reach out to you like he said he would, or like he said he needed the time to get done what he needs to get done, then you move forward, okay? I'm not saying make him the center of the universe, but I'm also not going to tell you to not give him an opportunity to show you whether he's serious or not, okay? If he's made you aware of that he's busy and he has things to do and he's whatever the case is, you don't need to text him. You don't need to be all up on his body. You don't need to be messaging him 24/7 and seeing what he's up to 24/7. When he's ready to talk to you, he will. If in the process of during this 2 to 3 week span, he feels like, damn, since I'm not seeing her and I'm not going to spend time with her in the next couple of weeks, I do want to talk to her, call her, message her, whatever, to keep our conversation going. Let him do that because he wants to do that. Don't force him to do that because you feel uncomfortable if he doesn't do that. Let's take this opportunity to see if he ends up doing that. Then when you take the opportunity to see if he ends up doing that, you will have your answer, which is good. You want to give yourself answers, and you don't want to be in a position where you're unsure of what he wants or unsure of if this is important to him, and you start reaching out to him hoping that you will be able to circumvent realizing that and just be able to get him to want to be with you and get him to want this relationship with you, okay? Make sure I do that right. Okay, so please, for me and for everyone else in the chat, please, Dream Manifester, don't say anything else. Don't text him anything else. Just wait it out and be very aware. Mark this time down in your calendar. So after that 2 to 3 weeks is up, okay, so let's say it's like 2.5 weeks or whatever, and he still hasn't sent you a single message and he hasn't updated you on anything, then you need to move on. For sure, you need to move on, okay? Because he gave you that timeline, but also you are a human being and you can't be waiting around for people forever. So if he's not going to message you, give you any sort of update, give you any sort of reaching out to just kind of check in with you, I get he's not a big texter, but if he can't reach out to you in 2 to 3 weeks time to just at least, remind you that he wants to see you or, he misses you or anything like that, that's your answer, okay? And use that as your answer for the rest of your relationship as to whether or not he's taking this seriously, okay? So you not texting is gonna give you your answer. Anytime you text, you won't be able to get your real, truthful, honest answer about how much he either wants this or doesn't care for it. Are you following what I'm saying? Someone said he worked things out with his wife. We'll see. We shall see. Imana, or is it Iman Art Director? Okay, I think that's your name. Iman Art Director. Okay, Iman. I've met the perfect man. Now what? Interesting. Hi, Tomisin. First of all, thank you for doing God's work and putting so much effort into creating a better dating experiences for everyone. Thank you for listening as well. I come to you for advice. I'm 25 years old. Expat from the Balkans. You're a 25-year-old female expat from the... I don't know what an expat is. Can you guys explain to me what an expat is? I don't know what that means. From the Balkans, living in Eastern Europe since I was 18. Is that like is that a culture? Is that a ethnicity? Okay. It means foreigner, immigrant? Okay. Since I was 18, I always felt like I didn't fit in back home. So moving to Eastern Europe has felt a bit better. But the only difficulty for me has been dating. Okay. A little bit about me. I graduated with my bachelor's at 20. Okay. Started an online baking business during, I don't know if I can say that word, at 21, and got my dream job in a creative agency at 22. So you're balling. You the big dog. As a graphic designer, since my first day in the agency until now, I've been promoted 3 times to a mid-level art director. So you the big one, not the small one. You the big Iman, not the small one. I've won various awards in my field of work, and I have been awarded Talent of the Year in a country in which I am an immigrant, like the chat so elegantly told me. In the beginning of 2024, I was quite unhappy, reaching a burnout, and found myself 7 months into a toxic situationship. He cheated on his girlfriend of 6 years. Please don't judge. Are you saying he cheated on his girlfriend of 6 years with you? I was at my lowest, so I decided to change things up and take charge of my life. I'm glad. I started, where did it go? I started cognitive behavioral therapy, became active again, built a healthy work-life balance, found the right people, stopped drinking, and chose to not have pineapples for almost 1 year. I was looking for something more serious, so pineapples wasn't a priority at all. This whole journey has brought me incredible clarity on how I see/value myself and what kind of partner I want for me. I imagined what I want my life to look like in 5 years and slowly started creating routines which have brought me almost fully to that kind of future. When meeting someone, I can quickly tell if what a man's intentions are and see our incompatibility because I have been dating for 3 years now without success, but with lots of lessons learned. Okay, so you're learning. You're doing well, okay? I am a strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and all the men I've met The good and the bad have appeared in my life for a reason, and they've been preparing me for him, my lifelong partner. Hence my question. 3 weeks ago, I was swiping on Tinder and I saw my dream man. It always makes me nervous when you guys start talking like this. Let's call him Jake. He already liked me, so I started swiping through his profile. Immediately, I found myself interested in him, and I quickly shared his profile with my best friend. I get it. You like his profile, but just, I don't want to burst your bubble, but you have to realize that a profile is really just that, and it's an online profile. And you might like his profile and not like the person behind the profile. That's just the honest truth. Not every way someone conveys themselves on a Tinder or Bumble or Hinge profile is going to mean that they're necessarily your cup of tea. And it doesn't necessarily even mean that you're compatible. I know that the dating apps can make you feel like you actually know the person before you know them, but the truth of the matter is you only know someone when you actually meet them. I can't lie to you. He was tall and beautiful, which was nice. More importantly, he is 32 and a firefighter, Australian. His bio reads something along the lines of, let's meet for a drink and connect in real life instead of meaningless texting. Now that's great. That's awesome, okay? But still, you want to meet him first before you make the decision that he's your dream man, okay? Anytime you're making anytime you're creating a narrative within your mind that this guy is absolutely perfect before ever meeting him, you're always going to be disappointed, okay? Because that's not how real life works, okay? People aren't just perfect because since he's perfect and he hasn't said a word, as soon as he opens his mouth and he says something you don't like, you're going to be like, damn, you ruined it for me, okay? He likes cooking, has a dog, likes being in nature, is physically active, and wrote he is looking for someone who matches my bedroom energy and enjoys tender aftercare. On his Tinder okay. Chad, I'm going to reread this so that you can understand why I'm pausing here. On his Tinder profile, he has written, he is looking for someone who matches my bedroom energy and enjoys tender aftercare. I'm going to break down and decode for you all that may be a little bit new here, that don't understand what this means. What this here means is that this man likes, I'm just going to say it, hopefully the under 20-year-olds are out of the chat. This man likes BDSM. Okay. If he's talking about aftercare and he's talking about matching the energy, he's talking about BDSM. He's trying to indirectly say that he's into that without saying it. Okay. And even if it's not specifically BDSM, what he's referring to is he likes to go extreme. In the bedroom, he likes to go wild. He likes to go crazy. Okay. To the point where there's aftercare required. Okay. Whether it be going crazy on him or going crazy with you or on you. Okay. He's an extreme type of guy. What he's saying is, if you're not an extreme type of person, probably we're not going to be compatible. I'm a guy, I haven't even read this message before. I just know how to decode what guys are trying to say. You don't put that on your profile as a guy unless it's serious. Unless the stuff you're into, you're really into, and it's not for everyone. Okay, it's niche, as we would say. Okay, so I'm just saying that to say, let's see where this goes now that he said that, all right? He is also a creative and paints. Basically, he has checked a lot of boxes. Also, take note of the fact he's putting that on his profile. So what do you think one of his main focuses is going to be? Okay, let's go on. He checked a lot of boxes. So I swiped right and texted him, so what are you doing tomorrow? He replied the next day, I'm free tonight. Let's chat on Instagram. He then texted me on IG with a, you are amazingly gorgeous. I am only here for 2 days, but I'm free tonight. If you'll let me buy you a drink. Let me just adjust myself. I don't know. How do you still fall for it? How do you still fall for it? I don't get it. I don't get it. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. Nothing wrong with liking a guy, but this is the problem. When you like a guy and you convince yourself that he's perfect before meeting him, you give him a lot of freedoms and a lot of exemptions that you shouldn't be. And you tend to not look at red flags because you don't want them to be red flags. Because on top of the fact he already had that in his bio about, someone who matches my energy in the bedroom and and is good at aftercare. And now he's saying, I'm only here for 2 days. What that means is I just want to have fun. I don't want to build with you. I just want us to have fun for these next couple of days. And if we can do this tonight, that would be even better because that's going to require no effort. Okay? Because we're talking about the same night here. So the same night that you messaged him is the same night he's trying to meet you right now. Let's see how this goes. After years of dates, which I paid half the bill, it felt extremely nice that someone would gladly treat me to dinner and a drink. Iman, I love you and I care about you, but this is why delusion can be so bad. And this is why believing that someone is perfect before you meet them can be so dangerous. Because when he offered to see you tonight and that he's only here for 2 days and he wants to see you right now, what you took from that is what an amazing, kind man he is for wanting to treat me to dinner and a drink. Why did you view it that way and why was that your perspective? Because you already convinced yourself that he's perfect. So because that was the narrative that you have started playing in your mind, you're looking for ways to confirm that narrative in your mind, right? So anything that he says or he does, you're looking for a way to fit that into the narrative space that, hey, you're perfect and you're my dream man. So you're looking for ways already, you haven't even met him, but you're looking for ways to separate him from all the other stuff the other guys would do. All the other lame guys that you've ever dated would never do something nice like this for you. They're nothing like him. He's so different. He's your dream man, right? Let's see if that's the case. The surprises kept coming after we met. He talks about his past relationships with respect, love, honesty. He is close with his female relatives, has a brother and sister, is an uncle, lives off the grid, has best friends from high school, bought a home, which he renovated, and has been single for 2 years, basically doing what I did as well, finding what makes him truly happy and growing to love himself unconditionally. Sounds good in a book. Let's see how he actually is, though, over the course of time. Our chemistry was fire. We talked for hours, and I decided I want to sleep with him. What? I decided I want to sleep with him simply because he is leaving, and it feels like a once-in-a-lifetime connection. Let me just let me get up again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why do they always fall for the same trick? It's the same trick. It's the same trick. I need to help my people. I need to be there for my people. If they don't get it, they don't see it. Iman, what are you doing? I get it that you like the guy. I'm not saying you're a bad person for liking the guy. You just met him though. I don't need you to turn into a pessimist where you believe everyone is bad. But what I don't want you to do is put yourself into the trap that the guy you don't know anything really about or you just met is absolutely perfect and you're ready to do everything with him on the first night. I get it, you're hyped up, you're excited, you're like, oh my God, this is my perfect man and everything is working out how I want it to work out. But let's take a deep breath and see if this continues to work at the same pace for the next 2 months. You haven't even given it 2 days. Hell, I don't even know if you've given it a whole 2 hours. You said we talked for some hours. You haven't seen him stressed. You haven't seen him, when he's angry. You haven't seen him in any capacity other than these couple of hours you're having a nice conversation. It's just not a realistic representation of who he is totally as a human being. I'll spare you the details. Let's say it was the best pineapples of my entire life, and I'm a pineapple charged person. I mean, of course, look what he had in his bio. I told you he's an extreme type of guy. I even invited him to stay the night. I hate sleeping next to anyone, and I love a good night's sleep. And in the morning, we woke up early. We woke up early, shared a toothbrush. Is this a joke? Is this a joke, Iman? Tell me the truth. Is this a joke? I'm inclined to believe this is not a joke because you paid to ask this question. But I'm really starting to question what it is that you even want here or what it is you're trying to do here. You just met this guy less than 24 hours ago because you met him the night before. And you're sharing a toothbrush with him. Married couples don't even share toothbrushes. You want to scrub your mouth with his mouth bacteria? That doesn't disgust you? Whatever. I guess I'm just weird. Showered, he watched me do my makeup and get ready for work. We listened to music, then went for a walk, grabbed a coffee and breakfast before parting ways. It felt like we knew each other forever. He also gave me the nicest compliments, such as, you inspire and intrigue me. What, you inspire him to get horned up? You intrigue him because you make the blood flow to his pee-pee? I cannot believe how beautiful you are in real life, he said. I love your style, he said. I have never felt this way before, ever. I've never heard any of those things before. I've been in a beautiful serious relationship. He left Prague and we stayed in touch a bit, but I don't want to get to know him via text. I don't have the need to constantly be in touch. I am doing things and he is doing his. He wants to see me again and is planning to move to Europe next. They always say that they're planning to move, okay, for the hopium. They always say that they're just about to move and they're trying to find a new job. Still isn't sure where, but it might be in the town I'm in. Of course, yeah, of course. It'll be in the town where you live, probably across the street. Oh, the house that's for sale across the street, that's the one he's thinking about buying. It's always like that, okay? I want him to see me as well. So I've asked my office to send me a 1-month exchange to Australia this January. You have lost it. Iman, you have absolutely lost it. You have lost it. You are so far off the deep end. You just met this guy. You haven't even spent a total of 2 days with him. And you're asking your job to move you to Australia for a month so you can be closer to him. I have no words. I truly have no words. I don't have any words. The chances I'll go are small. The factor even considering it is very highly concerning. Highly, highly concerning. But if I do or don't, it doesn't matter. I know we will see each other again in 3 months or a year. My question is, since we've already slept together, how do I keep him interested once we meet again? I am saying this because it happened time and time before that I show my interest to a guy way too soon and it scares them off, if they are even ready for a relationship. My intentions currently are very clear. I'm looking for a man for life, and I've made it very clear to Jake as well. He is on the same page for now. So I would truly hate to scare him off or make him uninterested because I genuinely believe we met for a reason. Sorry for the long read and thanks in advance. P.S. Iman. We need to have a discussion here. Because I honestly don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know what you want here. Why are you trying to move for another man that you just met? Why? I don't get what it is that. Sorry, let me rephrase. If you watch the show, you should know that there is much more to a human being than just what you meet in the first 48 hours. You need to calm yourself down and allow yourself some time to get to know him before you make any rash decisions like moving your life or going to working at a different place or going to a different country. That's so ridiculous. I'm going to be the first one to tell you, because I actually care about you, I'm going to be the one to tell you, guys lie and fabricate stuff all the time, especially when it comes to feelings. Especially when it comes to feelings when they know they can sleep with you on that night. Guys love to tell you how much they like you, how amazing you are, and pour it on thick because they know this is their best opportunity to be able to sleep with you. Let's take a second here, Iman, and let's see if over these next 3 months, so let me make this very easy for you. Don't go to Australia. Don't put in the word. Don't ask to move. Don't do any of that. You're going to stay right where you are in your country. Now, the second thing is, let's see if in this 3 months, he's complimenting you as much. He's as kind, nice, generous with you as he was when he saw you. Let's see if all the stuff you experienced with him in those first 24 hours is the same experience you have of him in this next 3 months. Then after that, if within this next 3 months, he comes to see you after this 3 months is over, and in that process, he's been the exact same person, then you can go to Australia if you want to go, okay? Let's make this simple for you. If you are not sensing that he's the same way he was when you first met him, or the relationship dynamic is the same, then you drop him, okay? Which I think that's what you're eventually going to realize. But in order to answer your question and give you a strategy that you can abide by, let's wait and see if in this 3 months he's the same amazing dream man that he was when you first met him. If he is, and the 3 months is up and he comes and sees you, cool. Now you have a man that you can spend the rest of your life with. If he starts changing or he starts not being as nice, not complimenting as much, not calling you or texting you as much or doing anything for the relationship as much, now you have your answer on what you should do, which is nothing and move on. Because truthfully, as much as I want this to work out for you, I am anticipating that in a month's time or in 3 weeks' time, you're going to send me another message and you're going to say, Tomisin, the guy that I was talking to, the guy that I thought was so amazing, that amazing, awesome, hot firefighter, he hasn't messaged me in 3 weeks and he literally ghosted me. What do I do now? And I'm going to tell you that you should move on because you made a lot of mistakes at the beginning and it's going to be very difficult to recover yourself from those mistakes at this point in time. Not to be mean to you or not to be rude to you, Iman, but you did a lot of things wrong. And based on him and how he will perceive you now based on what you did, I don't think it's going to work out very good for you. Now, I'm not saying I hope it doesn't work out for you, but what I'm saying is knowing guys and how they operate, meeting a girl on Tinder, messaging her and seeing her that same night and then sleeping with her that same night that he met. Like, chat, I want to break this down real quick for all of us. So, long story short, she saw him on Tinder, swiped right. As soon as she matched him, she sent him a message. After sending him a message, he then got her to see him that same day that she sent him a message. In that same day, it turned into a night hangout. They hung out at night. He slept with her that same night. So the same night that he sent you, the same night you sent him a message, he slept with you. Within hours of sending you a message. That is his perception of you now. I met a girl on Tinder, she messaged me, and I slept with her that same day. I'm going to put it kindly. He probably doesn't think very fondly of you, and he probably doesn't have a lot of respect for you. So you're more than likely not going to get a message from him 3 weeks from now. And he's probably not moving to your city or your area or your town. And even if he is, it's not for you. It's for himself. And he's probably not going to show you the same amount of attention that he did when he had the opportunity to sleep with you. I don't know how else to tell you this, but I think you should do nothing. See if he does something, right? See if he messages you, but I anticipate he won't do anything. I anticipate that, okay, unfortunately. Let's go to our next question here, which comes from Ella, okay? Ella's question is the neighbor I never met, okay? Ella says, hi, I'm 20, and there is a guy around my age who lives near my house. We've never spoken, but I see him all the time, whether he's coming home or just hanging out by his car. There's something about him that draws me in, and I can't help but feel curious about who he really is. I really want to get to know him, but I don't know how. What do you mean you don't know how? What do you mean by that? Where I'm from, people tend to be really closed off, and it's not common to just approach someone out of the blue. Plus, I never approach guys first, so it feels completely new to me. You shouldn't be, and I'm not going to advise you to. I've been seeing him almost every day while walking my dog for about 6 months now. So you're Joe from you. We make eye contact, but for some reason, neither of us have ever said hi. It's like there's an invisible wall between us. He has given me a couple of awkward smiles while walking, I think he meant to say, towards his car. He seems slightly shy. End. That's all. I'm gonna poise myself and hold on what I have to say until the end. I keep thinking it would be a good idea to just start off by greeting him. Do not do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You better not do that. I'm gonna be very, very angry with you if you do that. Ella, do not do that. Maybe the next time I see him outside. It seems pretty simple enough and not too forward, but every time I try to plan it out, I hesitate and second guess. Now I feel stuck because I'm really curious to get to know him, but I don't want to make the first move, although I want him to know that I'd like to get to know him. Don't listen to anyone who advises you to say hello to him. Do not approach him. Don't come up to him. You can smile. You can even wave. You can even have eye contact with him if you want. You will not approach him for any reason whatsoever. None. We do not want to start you off on the wrong foot where the guy who you're trying to build a relationship with or want to eventually maybe get to know to eventually get there, that you're starting this off on the very first foot by approaching him and showing him that if he doesn't put forward the effort required for the relationship, that you will fill in those gaps and be the boyfriend for him. I don't care how attractive a guy is, how much you like him, how curious you are about him. Never, ever, ever, ever do you approach a man. Ever. You will always lose approaching that man. you will immediately put him in a position of power where he can sit back, relax, and not do anything for you. He will not be pursuing you because you have just taken the responsibility on for yourself and pursued him. Do not approach men, especially if you're giving the excuse that he's approaching you or he's not approaching you because he's too shy. Leave shy men alone. I'm going to say it again. Leave shy men alone. Soy boys who are too shy, or soy boys who sit around and play video games but they can't talk to women, you leave them to be in the corner wanking off watching you sleep with the big dogs. You do not give yourself your time or your energy to shy soy boy men. Why? Because down the line, you will only be more frustrated, wondering why you have to be the boyfriend and the girlfriend in your relationship. You want to know why? It's because you made the choice to pursue a shy guy. You know, a shy guy doesn't become unshy. A guy who's not willing to pursue someone or something that he wants doesn't magically get that because you come up to him. So when you come up to him, you're setting the precedent that if you don't do it, I will do it. So for the rest of your relationship, it becomes he's too shy to put his best foot forward or pursue you. And so you constantly have to do that. You have to ask him on a date. You have to plan the date. You have to make sure you're both free. You got to pursue him. You got to do this for him and that for him. You got to do your anniversaries. You got to do your dinners. You got to do your Christmas. You got to do your birthday and his birthday. And you're basically dating yourself and he's just along for the ride. Okay? If a man is too shy to approach you, too shy to come up to you, too shy to ask you for your number or to just say hello to you, that is his own problem. Those men will not get access to you. You will only give yourself to the men who are willing to do the hard thing required to come up to you, meet you, and strike a conversation. It's part of the reason why I tell you guys to ditch the dating apps, because those men are the most soy boys and shy boys. That's why they run to the dating app, because they don't have to talk to you or be charismatic. They just hide behind the app and they message all day like shy soy boys, okay? The big dogs can come up to you in person. Now, the big dogs can also message you, obviously, but the big dogs have no problem holding a conversation or coming up to you in person. The shy soy boys are the ones who are like, no, I don't want to come up to her. I don't want to say anything. Okay? Especially when you guys have been having this eye contact all the time like this. If he's too scared to come up to you, then let him be too scared. But you're not going to do that work for him, and there is no reason whatsoever you should be doing that work for him. Okay? All right? All right, chat. I'm gonna end the show today a little. It's not really early. It's been like 3 hours, but I have somewhere to go, so I can't stay too long today, unfortunately. All right, chat. So for those of you who want to send me in a question, feel free to send in your premium Discord question, or send in your private question for me to answer your question. You can do that by going into the TikTok bio or the link in my description where you can ask me a question, a premium question or a private question, and I shall answer that for you via your email if it's private and via the show if it's a premium question, okay? For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is up there for you. It's just Tomisin_Atub, and you can follow me there. I had it down on the bottom of the screen, but you guys know it's in my description as well if you're on YouTube watching this show and you want to follow me on Instagram. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show because you missed parts of it and you want to rewind and get all the points that we talked about, all the points are available on my YouTube because I'm live on YouTube at the same time as TikTok. So just go to my YouTube page. It's Tomisin Atobatele. Type it in on YouTube. Go to the live section. You'll see this live show along with all the other live shows since the beginning of time. And you'll be able to, the best part is, see the YouTube and TikTok live chat embedded in the video so you won't miss even a second of conversation, okay? I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm going to be here tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST exactly. So you got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. And until we meet again, goodbye for now. Arrivederci, adios, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, salam, arrivederci, bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow. right on time, okay? 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp, all right? I'll see you again later. Okay, won't be long.